Don't call it a crosstown showdown, but still the same. McKinney ISD teams will square off tonight. McKinney North and McKinney Boyd both enter tonight's game with a 2-1 record in Class 4A in District 9, and tonight's winner has the chance to control their own destiny en route to the playoffs here in 2007. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Ron Post Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and Jay Lindley and John Leidy. Brandon, this one of those games that you see two new programs, somewhat new. McKinney North not a real new program anymore, but McKinney Boyd is. This is their first year to really have a legitimate team on the field, one without just sophomores out there. There's actually some juniors and seniors on the field.
Well, it's funny you mentioned just sophomores. One of the key players, the reason so good this year is a sophomore, but I want to go back. It's not Crosstown Showdown. I'm going to call it version 2.0. Crosstown Showdown this time around. And you talk about these two teams are 2-1 in district, and you can take the rivalry that will be developing aside from all this. The winner of tonight's game, solid track to make the playoffs. I mean, at 3-1, all but assures you a spot in the district top three.
You mentioned the quarterback for McKinney Boyd, Darren Alves, 5'6", sophomore, who is absolutely unbelievable. It's like watching Barry Sanders at a shotgun quarterback position.
Well, you're in a kind of a boot, and I think Alves has something to do with that.
He may do it. Alves on the year, 151 carries for 1,249 yards in 6 games. Yep, 1,249 yards and 12 touchdowns in 6 games for the sophomore running quarterback, and that is pretty much spectacular. When you go back and think about all the great running backs here recently in McKinney, you have to look at Chase Barrett, and his 1,621 yards 2 years ago is by far the most rushing yards of anyone in this area in the McKinney ISD, other than himself, who had 1,468 last year. And, of course, Shannon Woods from McKinney North had 1,496 in 03. But look at McKinney. They have had, basically Chris Wimbish went over the 1,000-yard mark once in 2004, and he only had 1,085 yards. So we're talking what this kid has done in 6 games is something that this ISD has not really seen a lot.
ISD aside, this district hasn't seen a lot, really, if you think about it. 1,200 yards, that's enough to be easily top 3, if not leading the district in rushing. And he's done it in half a season? I mean, it really does leave you speechless in a way to try to describe just really what he has meant for this Boyd team.
Well, we've talked about McKinney Boyd. Let's talk a little bit about McKinney North. We had a chance to go over to Pizza Hut Park last week in Frisco and saw him, I guess you'll call it play, Frisco Centennial. They didn't really show up over there, did they, Jay?
Well, Centennial basically dissected McKinney North with the short passing game. I mean, it was the West Coast offense at its best last Friday night. Mazakowski coming into that game had just been completing 52% of his passes. Last Friday night, completed 70% of his passage. I would expect for Boyd to maybe come out with North and attack them with the short passing game. Out of all the 21 completions passed last week, we had Centennial only throwing the ball over 20 yards 5 of those plays. So I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if you see some short passing routes, and of course with the athletic ability of Alves to turn it at any moment and run down the field on you, North could be in deep trouble.
McKinney North has their own running quarterback in Chris Williams. Some were wondering whether he'd be able to play tonight due to that injury he sustained last week, and Vince Stenko had to enter the game, and it looks like Chris Williams will be available tonight. He is on the field right now warming up with the first-team offense, so that's a good sign for the McKinney North Bulldogs.
Yeah, something Jay touched on real quick that I would like. I don't know if Boyd has the ability to run short passes. Just throwing that out there. I don't know if Alves has the kind of quick strike ability that a Mazakowski has. So it's going to be interesting to see how Boyd attacks this North defense. One
person we won't see tonight is McKinney North running back Fruit Cole. He will not play tonight. He sustained a leg injury last week. The 5'9", 207-pound senior will not be in action tonight against his crosstown rivals. It is McKinney North versus McKinney Boyd in Class 9-4A action. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Ron Post Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and Jay Lindley and John Leidy. Let me go over the McKinney North starting offense for you. Up front, Houston Beasley, Trent Bladel, Taylor Douthit, Robert Stevens. Actually, that's going to be Colton Duncan up at the right guard. And Taylor O'Madden split out wide. for McKinney North will be David Douglas and Chris Allen. The tight end is Aaron Matthews. The slot back is Ty Crump, and the running back tonight for McKinney North will be Damon Pitts, in for the injured Fruit Cole. Both of those guys pretty much share equal time in the backfield as it is. Starting tonight at quarterback for McKinney North will be Chris Williams.
Yeah, moving on to the Boyd defense, a really solid bunch this year. They run a typical 3-4. On the line, on the weak side defensive ends, Justin Cordova, and the right tackle, Reese Rebb and Keith Owens, also on the front line. The 4 linebackers are a pretty solid bunch. In the middle, it's Ryan Garrett and Jamel Minor. On the outside is Cameron Mazer and Zach Adamczyk. In the secondary, it's Lamar Peoples and Parker Belinas at right and left quarterback, respectively. And in the safety position, Philip Sears-Strong and Jacob Sigler in your free safety.
For the McKinney North Bulldogs on defense for them, it'll be Kyle Dancy and Mike Scott, the corners.
Topped off with whipped cream and a cherry. Available in vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, and cookies and cream. Chick-fil-A, just off 75 on 380 West in McKinney.
Hey,
is
Gene.
the post-game place to be.
Up front for McKinney North on their defense will be Sam Kamani, the defensive end, Zach Gagnon, Terrence Hicks, who was last week's tutoring club Scholar Athlete of the Week, Desmond Ehrlich, and Chris Harlan, the defensive end. The cornerbacks will be Mike Scott and Kyle Dancy. Look for Scott to cover Jeff Fuller tonight. And the linebackers, Rodney Nelson, and team leading in tackles is Colton Floyd with 63, 1 sack, 1 interception. The safeties tonight, Chris Williams and Marquise Millard-Sims, but look for Josh Matthews to play a lot of safety tonight. He had 12 tackles last week versus Frisco Centennial.
And finally, for the McKinney Boyd offense, a really stellar bunch on the offensive line. Left tackle, moving left to right, William Smalley, Norman Seabill. At center's Rusty Walton. On the right side at guard, Brenton Liggins and Brent Wyke. Tight ends, Cameron Mazer. Your receivers tonight, Jeff Fuller, the Oklahoma commitment, followed by Montarius Pittman and Grant Gibson on the left side. And it's Darren Alves, your sophomore quarterback, who's having a fantastic year so far.
Trying to find John Leidy down on the sidelines. They're doing the coin toss right now. John is somewhere down there, if I can actually see where he is. I'm looking, and I don't see where John might be. But John, I know he's probably listening to me down there, so I'm just going to have faith, and I'm going to go ahead and send it down to John. Go ahead, John.
Bulldogs have won the toss and will defer to the second half. Broncos will receive the opening kickoff.
Yeah, guys, I actually was walking the field before the game, just getting to feel the atmosphere out here for this showdown between the two McKinney ISD schools. And it's lively that we got the student crowd that's piling in. You got what people would say is McKinney North would be the Syracuse Orangemen versus McKinney Boyd being the Old Miss Rebels. But something I found that was unique was McKinney Boyd was actually escorted into the field of play by their drum corps on that, and kind of gave a little bit of that maybe even Old Miss feel as if you're talking about the collegiate level. But this crowd is going to be big tonight. It is filing in. There's a slight breeze down here, and I'm actually glad that I wore long pants tonight. Y'all were giving me a hard time before the game about that, but I kind of want to bet y'all to find somebody who's wearing shorts down here because it's about 74, 75 degrees down here, and it's actually cooling down pretty rapidly. There's a little bit of a slight breeze coming out of the south, but I don't see that to be any factor in the game tonight as far as kicking. I'm predicting that there's going to be a lot of running in this game as you have very powerful running from McKinney Boyd by the quarterback, and you got a tandem of running backs for McKinney North. So I look for this to be a lot of rushing yards in this game. Back up to y'all.
All right, thanks a lot, John. And, that's if you want to be obvious, man.
Yeah, we're not really going out on a limb in that prediction there.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of running tonight. As both teams, you never see this. Both teams are coming out at the same time, going through their run-throughs. You always see one team come out first and then the other team. But, hey, we got two MISD teams here, and they both come out at the same time, and they both come out through their helmets. Actually, they're not helmets here. McKinney North has their big blow-up Bulldog head, and McKinney Boyd has their Bronco, pretty much the same thing, and they're blue and red.
I like that because obviously Boyd's not a visiting team. They just have to be because you play in the same stadium, and I think that's a really cool tradition.
Officials for tonight's game will be referee Bill Meigel, the umpire Gary Raymond, the head linesman Lowell Kratz, the line judge David Stiven, and the back judge Scott Miller. And we are just about ready to be underway here for the McKinney Boyd versus McKinney North showdown. They don't call it the Crosstown Showdown. That's reserved for McKinney versus McKinney North.
Well, it's not really across town for these two. They're
It's almost the same side of town,
Yeah.
almost. We're going to pause, actually take a break during the national anthem. We'll take about a minute and a half break here on 97.5 KLAK.
The McKinney North Choir.
every time I hear.
Encore.
I know, that's dumb.
Okay, guys, we're clear. Monty, we did go off the air for about 10
yes.
15 seconds.
I saw. That's okay. Just hang with us, okay?
Yeah, it'll always come back. It's not like the other Comrex.
I just don't understand.
Yeah, but I can't allow that much dead air time. I mean, I will go to commercial,
And
but
then-
I will bring you back as soon as I hear something.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll work.
Cool.
Okay. All right.
Some 10-second legal IDs.
Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
get those legal IDs ready. That's a great idea, Jay. Grab
Kudos.
some legal IDs and throw them in there for just in case, okay? You got me, Gene?
We lost him.
All right,
again.
we can do legal IDs.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thought we lost
That's
him.
almost the equivalent of the ticket. Every time I see that door open next door, I'm thinking Froze on his way.
Don't worry
put on
about
some
him,
Celine
dude.
Dion.
I hate him so
Don't let him get to you.
much. You know, I'll try lemon drop this game.
30 seconds, stand
No
by.
alcohol.
Customers by providing the best products and personal service possible.
worked out well.
Today, that purpose remains our number one
Wasting my
priority.
lemon
Whether
drops.
you're looking for your
give it
first
back if
home
you
loan or
want.
financing to grow your business, Texas Star Bank will help you reach your goals.
quite all
To
right.
learn more, visit
It is hard candy.
TexasStarBank.com or stop by our McKinney location on West Virginia Parkway. You'll see why at Texas Star Bank we have successfully served our customers for nearly 120 years. Member FDIC.
Now back to Monty Walker and McKinney ISD football on 97.5 KLAK.
Of the University Interscholastic
Well, it is just about football time in Texas.
selected by you
As the McKinney North Bulldogs, as John Leidy told you, in their dark blue navy tops with their electric orange pants. We haven't seen a lot lately. I know last year they played at home a lot and wore all blue. This year they've elected to go with those orange pants again.
Chris Southard and Kevin Schmidt.
And it'll be McKinney North kicking off to McKinney Boyd. It'll be Stephen Meyer on to boot this one away as the special teams group huddles up for McKinney North, and McKinney Boyd will huddle up on the far side.
So do you think we'll see some running in this game?
I think we'll see a lot of running in this game,
my prediction is that we will.
especially from number 8 from McKinney Boyd, and that being Darren Alves.
Well, and really both quarterbacks to some degree will be able to run the ball.
Back deep for McKinney Boyd to return this kick is going to be A.J. Jones, along with Jeff Fuller and Darren Alves. And Alves and Jones will stand just inside the 10-yard line. Fuller will come out a little bit, maybe to the 15, and scooting up even further, up to the 20 now, as Stephen Meyer will obviously tee it up from the 40-yard line. Now North is going to move left to right. North is defending the south end zone, whereas Boyd will be defending the north end zone, moving right to left to start the there's going to be there should be a flag on that at kickoff. Didn't one of the guys go over the line there?
Well, two of the streamers on the outside did.
Well, here's the kickoff. They fake the quail, and they do kick it deep now. Meyer kicks it deep. It's going to be picked up by Alves at the 17-yard line, coming near side, crosses, and eludes one tackler, but he actually can't elude the second one. Goes down at the 23-yard line. So McKinney Boyd will start this game moving right to left with the football. And Alves coming in to tonight is 42 out of 88 with 6 interceptions, 532 yards in the air, and 5 touchdowns passing. But it's on the ground is where he's so dangerous that we've been talking about. 151 rushes for 1,249 yards and 12 touchdowns on the ground. He's in shotgun formation. Sends Pittman in motion. He'll stand right beside him now, and he's going to fake the hand to him. Here comes Alves running left side to the 25, cuts it up to the 30, to the 33, and down at the 34-yard line. So just like that, a sneaky 10-yard run on first down.
Yeah, Monty. I mean, they're still running kind of a base off, at least on this play. We'll see how that evolves against kind of a tougher team. But if he pulls a running back in the backfield like an A.J. Jones, you're going to see that option quite a bit. If he pulls Mazer back there, he's going to keep it himself.
Shotgun once again. First down. Here comes Pittman in motion again. Or Robinson, rather. That's Robinson in motion. Alves is going to run it to the right this time, and this time Jace Boyd brings him down after about a 2-yard loss. So it'll be 2nd down and 8. A nice play by the defensive end, Jace Boyd, to come up and make the stop. Boyd coming in with 20 tackles and 1 sack. A 6-foot, 210-pound senior.
Well, I dare say if he doesn't make that tackle that it's a lot bigger gain, because there was kind of a little crease there, and that's really all you need if you're Alves to make a big run at it.
Robinson in the slot will go in motion again. He'll stand next to Alves, a little bit to his left. He's going to get the hand this time up the middle. Nothing doing. Not even a yard. Not even an inch. Jace Boyd once again, and he had company this time from Zach Gagnon.
Yeah, and Monty, this isn't a situation where Boyd likes to be. Of course, I don't know anybody who loves to be in third long, but their offense isn't suited for that. They do have the ability to do it, but their plays are generally designed to get about 5 yards a carry. And when you're looking at something at a 3rd and 9, while like I said they could do it, it's not designed to.
3rd and 9. McKinney Boyd has it at their own 35-yard line. Man in motion is A.J. Jones. They're going to throw it this time. Fuller makes the catch. Coming up the left hash, he's hit, and he's not going to be close to the first down. The ball is loose, and it was recovered by McKinney North, but they'll say that Jeff Fuller was down. It's only about a 3 or 4 yard gain. The ball's spotted at about the 39-yard line. So it'll be 4th down and punting time for McKinney Boyd.
And see, that's what I was talking about. This team just doesn't have the ability to throw the ball short because of the quickness of the arm, the quickness of the ball. It just can't get there fast enough to get the receiver in motion.
Well, they line up as if they're going to go for it here with Darren Alves. And this may be the quick kick. Here's Pittman, and Alves is going to kick it. The left-footed kicker punts it, and it bounces at the 35-yard line and is going to roll down at about the 33 in McKinney North territory. So McKinney North will start out moving left to right at their own 33-yard line. So a nice job by the McKinney North defense starting out, Jay.
Well, right there, the McKinney North defense, this was a Boyd team that was last week racked up 21 first downs against a good Lake Dallas defense. Right there, that opening drive, doing a great job of really laying down the ratchet there on the Boyd offense. You saw the short pass on 3rd down, wasn't able to do anything with it.
Shotgun for McKinney North. Chris Williams, the quarterback, has Pitts standing beside him. They run into each other, and Williams finally keeps it, but he's being tackled for a big loss. They'll give him forward progress, which is near the line of scrimmage, but that was a great play by McKinney Boyd, but it was set up by a horrible play by McKinney North.
Well, Williams bobbled the snap, and in a shotgun situation with your running back literally on your hip, you have to get the ball and get it to him in time, even if it's an option play, which I don't know if it was, but there was obviously a busted play on that play.
Talking about the Dallas and New England game last week where Wade Phillips says, hey, they're a good team, but let's not let them beat us twice. And I think that's what Sean Pratt's saying here about Frisco Centennial last week. Here's Williams. He wants to throw it, and he hits his tight end Matthews across the middle. It's going to be close to a first down, and I believe Matthews fought his way over that stripe, and they'll spot the ball at about the 44-yard line, and that'll be enough to move the stick. So the first down of the night comes virtue of Williams to Matthews on the pass.
Yeah, and it looked like the Boyd defense was trying to strip the ball, and Matthews is a strong kid, so he was kind of leading with his butt first, just scooting the yards along the way and hanging on to the ball too.
8:27 left to go in the first, no score. Handoff, Pitts up the middle, big hole to the 50 and down inside McKinney Boyd territory at the 46-yard line.
Well, Williams doing the Brett Favre fake there. That threw a lot of the defensive linemen off the Pitts ball carrier there.
So it'll be another first down for McKinney Boyd. Go ahead, Jay.
Well, right there, of course, Pitt's doing another great job. Last week he stepped in the second half for Fruit Cole. We saw him rack up 81 yards on 12 carries. I'd expect more of that tonight.
Williams in shotgun for McKinney North. Moving left to right. Man in motion, and they're going to fake the pitch. No, they're going to go ahead and give it to the slot receiver coming across, and he's going to get about 4 yards, and that's Josh Allen going right to left all the way across the field, the far side of the field, and he's going to gain about 4 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down and 6 with 7:46 left to go in the first quarter, no score.
Yeah, nice little play there on first down, and give a lot of credit to Pitts. We saw him get a big run a couple plays ago. This time he just lays a nice block out, took the legs out of the defender, and allowed the play to get past the line of scrimmage.
Douglas split out wide left. And Allen to the near side. Man goes in motion. That's Matthews, the tight end. Shotgun for Williams. Flags down before this one could get underway. Williams tipped his hat that he was going to run right.
Yeah, Taylor Amadon, you can't have much more of a blatant false start than that. He took a step forward, looked around, looked back at his quarterback. Oh, yeah, I mean, that's about as blatant, like I said, as you can get.
So instead of 2nd down and 6, it'll be 2nd down and 11 with 7:22 left to go in the first. Some notes on this game. Last week, David Douglas had his 7-game touchdown reception streak ended. He now has caught touchdowns, or at least 1 touchdown in 14 of his last 17 games. 2nd down and 11. Shotgun. Williams runs right, thinks about the option, spins out of a tackle, finally gang tackled at it'll be about a yard loss. It'll be 3rd and 12 here. The ball's going to be spotted at about the 47-yard line.
This is one of the times where I wish that at the high school level we could get some sort of replay, because I believe the pitch man had no one on him, and Williams thought he saw a seam or something. And that's a situation where I think you have to pitch the ball, because I believe the cornerback committed to
calling
him.
469-952-6006. You'll learn how the Tutoring Club has already helped over 100,000 students nationally blow up their reading and math skills 1 academic level in just 2 hours.
3rd down and 12, 6:22 and rolling. Trying to get Boyd to jump off sides here. And now Sean Pratt and company are going to have to call a timeout. We'll take one, too. 6:16 left to go in the first. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK.
On 97.5 KLAK.
3rd down and 12. Williams throws it right down the sideline for Allen, and it's in and out of his hands. He tried to one-hand catch it, and Chris Allen drops it. The 6'2", 190-pound junior has 5 catches, 29 yards on the season, and that would have been a big one. But he tried to one-hand it and couldn't bring it in.
Well, and that was going to be a tough play because the coverage was there by Lamar Peoples, and basically he had to turn around, look over his shoulder while still kind of engaged with the cornerback. Not an easy catch.
4th down and punt time for McKinney North with 6:13 left to go in the first. No score. David Douglas back to boot this one away. Left-footed punter, even though he throws right. And this one's going to be a pretty good kick. It's going to bounce straight up at the 10-yard line. Now go down to the 5. Actually, it's Sam Kamani and Rodney Nelson there to kill it right at the 5-yard line, pinning Boyd way back deep in their own territory. And they're going to have to move right to left 95 yards.
Say what you will, but plays like that will help you win the game. I mean, that's the best bounce you can get at that part of the field. It doesn't go in one direction or another, doesn't risk the chance it could roll somewhere, goes straight up in the air, and allows your return team just to fall on it.
It is Mike Scott, man-to-man on Jeff Fuller to the near side. Scott normally plays on the other side of the ball, moving over this week to make sure on Fuller. Here's Alves running to the right side, and he's in some traffic. Behind the line, Kyle Dancy has him at the line of scrimmage. Alves goes nowhere on 1st down. A great play by the cornerback to scrape over and make sure that Alves doesn't get to cut it up.
You know, last week we saw the the Bulldog defense get shredded on this nickel and dime to death passing game. This time around, the Broncos are going to try to run it, and that actually plays into the strength of this DPD defense because they have the ability to stop the run, and they do it very well.
5:29 left to go in the first, no score. Alves wants to throw out of the end zone, throwing it across the middle. A great play by Mike Scott to knock it away, and now they throw a flag. Scott was following Jeff Fuller across the middle. It looked like he reached out and batted the ball down with his right hand across Fuller, but apparently some contact was made.
Well, his left hand was across the back, and you can't make contact like that because that does impede the receiver's ability to make the catch. But again, the reason that kind of was made that way was because we're illustrating that Alves does not have the best arm, and he threw it behind Jeff Fuller.
Well, that'll get McKinney Boyd out of trouble deep in their own end zone, deep in their own territory. They're still deep, however, at their own 20-yard line, but this gives them some breathing room. Mike Scott had some tough penalties called on him in the McKinney game when he was facing their great wideout over there. And now whistles will blow before this one could get underway. It was 1st and 10 from the 20. We'll check the flag here. Matter of fact, that'll give us some time to go down with John Leidy. John, go ahead and talk to us down on the sidelines. Anything going on down there yet?
After the penalty, 1st and 15 Broncos into McKinney Boyd, 15-yard line.
It's not.
No. Maybe not. All right, John, we'll try to come back to you. Be ready, though. Here's A.J. Jones in motion. He'll stand behind Alves. And Alves is going to run the option. He pitches it to A.J. Jones, who tries to escape a tackle and can't. Another great job on the far sideline. And I believe that was the leader on defense, Colton Floyd, making the stop, and a big loss, about 2.5 yards, maybe 3 yards.
Actually, it's a gain because while we were waiting for another award-winning sideline report, there was a 5-yard penalty. That's what the flag was, as a false start.
I understand. I wondered how Colton Floyd got back over there so fast. Marquise Millard-Sims said during the senior spotlight that Colton Floyd is by far the leader on defense, vocally and on the field. Here's Alves, drops back, wants to throw the ball, throws it, and it is caught. And down immediately goes Jeff Fuller, who makes the catch at the 26-yard line. Nice coverage, but it wasn't a big gainer. Normally when we see Fuller making a catch, it's one of those long Alvin Harper type grabs. This one, they send him across the middle on a Terrell Owens type grab.
Well, and just think, and the reason they do that is because Alves doesn't have the pinpoint accurate arm. Think of what could happen if he could refine that, use his feet and his arm.
It'd be Cole Beasley and Little Elm.
It'd be amazing, that's for sure.
3rd down and 4 from their own 26, McKinney Boyd. Alves rolls right, now cuts back, cuts it up the middle, and a great play by McKinney Boyd to stop him with no gain. Alves went right, stopped immediately like Barry Sanders, cut it back, and had about 3 Bulldogs right in his face.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the run defenses that the Broncos have faced, but I can tell you he's not going to be able to cut it back against this I keep doing that, against this Bulldog team as much as he would against a lesser defense.
4th down and 4. Will this be the quick kick again? And it is. This was a terrible kick by Alves. Goes off the side of his foot, and McKinney North's going to be in business inside McKinney Boyd territory. Only about a, oh, Lord, I don't know.
A 15-yard punt right there going from the, or actually, no, a 13-yard because they're marking it at the 39-yard line. So from the 26 to the 39. Talk about Darren Alves coming into the night, averaging over 7 yards a carry. He has been held in check right now. 4 carries, 11 yards, just a little over 2 yards a clip. His first carry of the night, a 10-yarder. Ever since then, 2 yards, -1 and 0.
Well, Bonnie, let me ask you, what's wrong with the punt? Yeah, I mean, is there something you know that I don't? But I mean, they've done the quick kick twice, and it hasn't been stellar. And McKinney North is expecting it.
3:29 left to go in the first quarter, no score. Williams wants to run the option, pitches it out to Pitts, and he throws it on the turf. It's still on the turf, and Boyd has it at the 46-yard line. And McKinney Boyd's going crazy on the far sideline. A sea of red is going nuts in the bleachers on the far sideline.
Yeah, just a mishandle by Pitts. I mean, there's no other way to say it. He had it in his hands. I don't know if he was looking forward to run first, but, you know, you'd rather lose yards than lose the possession, and that's exactly what happened.
Well, that'll set up shop for McKinney Boyd. Who cares about the short punt, right?
You know, the interesting thing, you know, Boyd had forced 11 fumbles this season, had recovered only 3 until that one.
3:22 left to go in the first. Boyd and Darren Alves moving right to left. Sends a man in motion, sets right behind him. Busted play. Alves is going to have to run for it, and a big loss behind the line of scrimmage. A great play coming up by Rodney Nelson and Sam Kamani for McKinney North, and Alves is going to lose 5 yards, or 4 yards rather, on the play.
Like I said, you know, you might be able to pick apart a defense in the running game, but you're going to have a tough time doing it. Not to say it can't be done, but this is a really solid run defense team. And the way to beat the the DPD defense is to pass.
Well, it's 2nd down and 15 for McKinney Boyd. And Alves is in shotgun, and he's going to fake the hand, and he trips, but he rolls right, and he has a seam for a moment. Now breaks out of a tackle up to the 45-yard line, a gain of about 3 or 4 yards. A simple 4-yard gain by Alves. Didn't look so simple, though.
No, and again, that shows just how athletic this kid is. I don't think he'll hit his 200 yards a game average in this one, but, you know, he slipped. A lot of guys would have just fallen. They wouldn't have had the athleticism to get back up. And not only that, he's tackled, and this kid, the small little sophomore, still has the ability to pull guys toward the line of scrimmage and beyond once he passes it.
Cameron Mazer puts his arm around him as if to say, hey, come on, we need you. Alves wants to throw, throws it down the middle, and it's caught by Robinson down to the 25-yard line. He just split two defenders right up the hash.
Monty, the Broncos are loving going across the middle. They've thrown to Jeff Fuller twice, one completion, and this one here, they see something they like in that little pattern.
Well, it was open last week. I mean, we saw Frisco Centennial do this against the North Bulldogs, and with that tonight, so far, Alves, he's been more of a thrower than a runner. He's thrown the ball for 41 yards. He's only ran for 9.
You see where he likes to go. He normally goes left to Fuller. His split out wide right, only has one catch. Here's Alves running around the left side. Tries to get out of a defender's arms and can't. A nice play by the DPD of McKinney North once again, and that's cornerback Mike Scott coming up again.
Yeah, and how often do you see a cornerback make a tackle like that? And that's like I said, it wasn't because Mike Scott blew coverage, it's because the coverage was there. Mosikowski hit it last week. He was making his tackles. You have a hard time making any one of these 11 defenders miss on a tackle, and that's really what Darren Alves succeeds at.
Boyd struggling this year, scoring points in the first quarter, only 19 all year, where North has scored 54. No score here, and we're under a minute in the first. Alves wants to throw, looks left-sided, and it is caught out in the right flat, and I believe that's A.J. Jones who makes the catch. And I could be wrong.
It's Montarius Pittman over there.
Pittman over there making the catch. Not a large gain, maybe about 5 yards. It'll bring up 3rd down and 9. Under 40 seconds now in the first quarter. McKinney Boyd has the ball at the McKinney North 24-yard line. No score. Alves, shotgun formation on 3rd and 9. Looking for a score. Flushed out of the pocket. Now he throws it deep towards the end zone. A.J. Jones in there, and he makes the catch, but he's out of bounds. He's out now. Now he drops it, but he was out of bounds anyway. He's well past the backside of the end zone.
And the funny thing is, that would have been the best play to run if you're Alves. There was no one on that left side. I could have swore he was just going to tuck it up.
Well,
he would have easily gotten the first down.
This is a decision time, I guess, now on 4th down and 9. This is really kind of out of Travis Yarborough's range, as Yarborough's hit from 30 yards this year against Denton. But they don't bring the kicker out here. 20 seconds on the first quarter clock, no score. Alves is going to go for it. Drops back, 3 steps, looks across the middle, now throws right, and it is almost intercepted. It is! It's intercepted! The bad news, McKinney North has it inside their own 5-yard line.
Why?
Jace Boyd makes the interception, and that's one where you got to think, hey, I'd rather just knock this one down. But Boyd, the 6', 210-pound senior, took the interception, and now North is pinned deep in their own territory.
Well, there's a reason he plays on the line, apparently. You saw it tipped up, and that's where you want to make sure that in that situation that none of the Broncos get near it, so that way you can get it back up to the 24-yard line.
That's been the crawl, I guess, for McKinney North, is batting the ball down. They didn't do it twice against Highland Park. Hurt them both times in both years, and now this one hurts them. There's a handoff up the middle. It hadn't hurt them yet, and now it does. There's a safety in the end zone.
No, it's a touchdown. What did we miss?
Well, there was a fumble on the play, and coming up with it on the far sidelines for the Boyd Bulldogs was Keith Owens, the sophomore. The Broncos, excuse me. It was Keith Owens, the sophomore, came up with the fumble recovery in the end zone.
Well, now that interception really hurts.
Now it does hurt. 6 seconds left on the first, and I apologize. We just didn't see the play. We saw the scramble in the end zone. I thought it was a safety, but the official ruled it as a touchdown. And here's Yarborough on for the extra point, and it is good. 7-0. McKinney Boyd leading on a crazy play to start this. Wow. 6 seconds left to go in the first. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Here's the high pooch kick by McKinney Boyd. It's going to be taken by North at the 30 and going down immediately. And now North will have a chance. There's 2 seconds left on this first quarter clock. Jay?
Real quick, 6 seconds off the clock. One play, a misplay by McKinney North. And McKinney Boyd's Keith Owens, the sophomore nose guard, coming up with the fumble recovery there in the end zone. Coming into the night, Boyd 11 forced fumbles, only 3 recoveries tonight, 2 for 2.
Well, and Monty, we talked about Jace Boyd making the interception, and it's really hard to tell a kid not to make a play like that.
Yeah,
it really is.
It really is. We have to go down and talk to John Leidy. John, I'm sure, has some information on what happened down on that touchdown. Maybe he can describe what happened for us. Right after this play, we'll try to go down to him. It's 1st and 10 for McKinney North.
American Bank of Texas is proud to support McKinney football.
1st and 10 for McKinney now. A timeout has been called. We're going to keep it right here. John Leidy down on the sidelines. Tell us what happened during that crazy touchdown that we apparently missed up here. Go ahead.
Okay, guys, I got a great look at that play. The handoff between the quarterback, Chris Williams, and the running back, Damon Pitts. Keith Owens actually got his hand in between the two and knocked the ball out of their hands, and it fell in the end zone. He just actually recovered his own fumble there, and that's how it was actually a touchdown, not a safety, because he is the one that did cover it. Both teams are also feeding off the momentum of the big plays of each side. McKinney North early on was feeding off the momentum of the defense stopping, and boy, this momentum shifted to them with the 2 great plays there at the end. If you look at the crowd, you can also see the same thing. Boyd's up and being rowdy. McKinney North sitting down right now. Back up to y'all.
All right. Thanks a lot, John. Appreciate you being able to see that because we weren't.
Arguably one of his best sideline reports of the year.
Let's say John was Johnny on the spot there.
Oh.
1st down and 10. David Douglas in at quarterback. Runs the option to the right. Keeps it to the 45, to the 50. 1st down for McKinney North. Inside Boyd territory, and look out. This is David Douglas at quarterback.
Well, we saw it last week a couple of times.
That is the end of the first quarter with Boyd leading McKinney North 7-0. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. David Douglas in at quarterback again. Welcome to the second quarter where McKinney Boyd leads McKinney North 7-0 here at Ron Poe Stadium. It was a botched handoff, I guess, for McKinney North, and McKinney Boyd recovered it in the end zone, and that's how we have come to our 7-0 score here at Ron Poe. Moving right to left now, McKinney North on 2nd down and 6. David Douglas now in at quarterback, wants to throws it down the field, and it is tipped and incomplete. A great play over there by McKinney Boyd's Philip Sears, the safety, coming over there and just tipping that pass away.
At the beginning of the year, I felt kind of sorry for Philip because he was, the starter at quarterback last year, and, he struggled a lot, and then comes the soft. But you know what? He has played one heck of a strong safety position. I mean, he's one of the team leader in tackles, which can be a mixed bag with your strong safety, but he makes plays like that, too, in the passing game, and he's really a solid player.
Josh Allen is split out wide left where David Douglas left. He will go in motion. Douglas is going to fake the hand to him. He's going to run the option. Makes a man miss, flag down, and will cut it up towards the out-of-bounds marker after maybe about a yard gain. We'll check the flag.
Yeah, we saw a Bronco defender go into the backfield and basically was held to the ground, so it's a holding call. What do you do? They're in your territory. Do you accept the penalty, make them redo third, or is this a situation where at 4th down you make them force their hand? Because this really isn't a punting situation for the Bulldogs, and we know that they can get 5 yards in a carry.
It is going to be declined by McKinney Boyd, so it'll bring up 4th down. And, this is pretty dangerous. Now Douglas is the punter, so he'll stay in the game here. But remember, you can do some things out of this lineup.
Yeah, because, when you have your quarterback as also as your punter, and a running quarterback, or, somewhat, you have the ability to do things.
Well, we saw last week a fake punt in this very situation where it was Douglas throwing down the deep sideline. So we'll see if it happens here.
10:50 and rolling here in the second. 7-0 Boyd on top. High snap. Douglas brings it down. He will punt this one away. It's a high wobbly kick and a fair catch called for by Philip Sears. It's going to bounce inside the 5 and killed at the 2-yard line. Another great punt by David Douglas, and Kyle Dancy and company are right there to stop it.
Did you see Phillips' body language when he saw that? Slumped over, realized he should have fair caught the thing.
Well, he called for the fair catch. He just didn't make the catch.
Yeah, and he let it bounce and say, I'll go into the end zone. You can't always count on that.
By the way, we want to go ahead and thank Applebee's because right now they just brought us up some food. So thanks to Applebee's over there.
One of the best underrated restaurants out there. You always hear, hey, we're doing chili and something like that. Give me Applebee's any day. I'm just saying that out there.
Riblets.
There's nothing they do that's bad.
especially the ultimate trios. 10:37, here's Alves running out of his end zone to the 5, look out, to the 10, cuts it up left side, makes a great move to the 20, look out, 25-30, 35-40, up to midfield, one man to beat, to the 40, 35-30, cuts it inside, another great move and down at the 22-yard line. Darren Alves is Barry Sanders.
Hey, Monty, you know that part where I said he may not get 200 yards this game? Can I take that one back? Can we have Cable edit that one out?
What a magnificent run by Darren Alves, cutting all over the field. Made a great cut at the 30-yard line.
76-yard run right there.
I think my boot just came off.
Well, and up until that run,
you broke it again.
He had only 5 yards rushing until that carry right there.
Like I said, can I take my comment back?
1st and 10, Alves from the gun. He's going to hand off this time to Robinson, and he'll gain a few yards. You have to hand it off. He can't run another play after that one, right?
Why not? I mean, this kid is Superman.
Well, he may have been out of breath.
You know, I bet him and his family maybe getting tired of me calling him a kid. But the player has some talent, and he's a sophomore. I mean, he's leading this offense as he is. How is that possible?
74 yards.
74 yards on that run by Darren Alves. Here's a man in motion on 2nd down and 6. Going to hand off. A.J. Jones coming across. He's to the 10. Cuts it up inside to the 5. It's touchdown time in Texas. McKinney Boyd goes up 13-0, awaiting the PAT. Last year this game was 63-7 North. It may swing the other way.
What would Coach Drake say about last year, though?
Last year is over.
And you know what? He has a great attitude. You know, like last week against
Lake Dallas.
Yeah, Lake Dallas, where they narrowly, they put up a good fight. And like, hey, good job. He wasn't good job. He was like, we should have won.
Here's the extra point, and it is good. It's 14-0. The Boyd Broncos leading McKinney North. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. McKinney Boyd will fake the Quail onside and back up and boot this one away. 9:57 left to go here in the second quarter. Boyd on top. Here's the high pooch kick going to be taken at the 32-yard line. Coming up the right hash is McKinney North, and they'll bust their way up to about the 44-yard line. Jay, how about an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap?
3 plays, 98 yards, 40 seconds knocked off the clock, and an 18-yard touchdown run by A.J. Jones. Jones was targeted on the previous possession. He was the receiver in the end zone, wasn't able to bring that one in. Got his first touchdown of the night on an 18-yard run.
Scores to pass along. Frisco over Frisco Centennial 7-0. That one's in the second. And we also have Wichita Falls leading Sherman 14-0. That one with 3:31 left to go in the first. And Highland Park and Richardson Pierce 7-7 in the first. That ought to be a great game. 9:50 left to go in the second here. 14-0 Boyd. Here's Chris Williams throwing the home run ball down to David Douglas, and it's caught to the 30, down to the 20, and out of bounds at the 19-yard line. Parker Bolinas in coverage along with Miller Burns. But a nice pitch and catch from Chris Williams to David Douglas.
See, that's one thing that's really missing in this McKinney North offense is the ability to throw the long ball as they were able to do last year, because what happens is you've got a great receiver, and if you can't get it to him, it doesn't matter. And on there, you saw what happens, how all of a sudden energetic, they're inside the 20 because of one play.
Another score to pass along. Dennison leading Denton 8-7 in the first. Here's a handoff to Josh Matthews, running right tackle, cuts it up to the 15 and down at the 12-yard line. That'll bring up a second down and fairly short, probably 3 yards, with 9:31 left to go in the second quarter. And Boyd on top, 14-0. But here's North storming out of the gate here.
Well, they needed to get some sort of shock paddles to their system.
Josh Matthews will check out of the game, and Damon Pitts will check back in at running back.
Pitts, of course, the culprit on that last fumble in the end zone. He and Williams had a mishandle. It'll be interesting to see what he does here.
Well, remember, it was Keith Owens who really helped facilitate that fumble.
Williams in the gun will send Pitts to his left. Handoff Pitts over right guard, and he's met immediately and maybe gained 1 or 2. Be close to the 10-yard line, maybe about the 11. It'll bring up a big third down here.
And this is also an area where you might consider going for it on 4 downs. You don't want this game to get out of hand. 14-7 sure looks like a lot better than 14-3. On the other hand, there's the other point. It's still real early.
And Stephen Meyer is basically automatic from here, too.
North 0 for 2 tonight on third down conversions. Going back to last week, they're just 3 of 12.
Williams in the gun. Douglas comes near side, wide out. Here's Matthews in motion from right to left. And Williams is going to run the option to the left side. He has the first down, I believe, inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Ooh, it's going to be close. We might want to check down with John Leidy to see just how close this is. John, you're right there. Talk to us. How close is it?
Gain of 2 yards on the play. Tackle made by Reese Redmond.
Guys, this is actually going to be really close, but I'm looking that it's actually going to be about a half a yard short, judging where the nose of the ball is at. Back up to y'all.
All right, again, John is on a little bit of a – again, we want to mention John's on a little bit of a delay there, so this will bring up 4th down and 1, a big, tremendous, huge 4th down and 1. And Williams is going to run it to the right side. He's got a seam to the 5, inside the 5 to the 3-yard line. A first down for McKinney North, and that's good news if you're a North fan. And the north side is going crazy.
Yeah, and this looks like kind of what we were talking about what I was talking about, where you want 7 points, and this is a good area which you can almost get it if you get that last first down, making it almost 4-down territory.
Well, this is going to be shotgun formation, first down and goal from the 3. Handoff, Damon Pitts up the middle. It's touchdown time in Texas. McKinney North scores. And they fight right back to cut it 14-6 with 7:07 left to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, and basically just to run up the middle, and that was all muscle, all heart, all power. And Pitts, with the help of his offensive line, got it done.
So, with that touchdown, here's Stephen Meyer on for the extra point after that Damon Pitts touchdown. Meyer is back, and the kick is up, and the kick is good. 14-7. McKinney Boyd cuts the lead in half. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Ron Poe Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and John Leidy and Jay Lindley. Here's the pooch kick. It's going to be taken at the 25-yard line up the left hash. That's A.J. Jones. Look out to the 35 and down to the 40-yard line. How about an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap, Jay?
6 plays, 57 yards, 2 minutes and 50 seconds, knocked off the clock, and, of course, capped off by a 3-yard Damon Pitts touchdown run. We got to see, though, David Douglas make an appearance. He had that big reception that really got things going on that drive, a big 38-yard pickup. And, of course, that got the Bulldogs down inside the 20.
Yeah, and it's kind of curious. Back on the kickoff return, they have Darren Alves back there, and that's really kind of odd. He's got great playmaking ability, but, again, he's your quarterback. He's out in shotgun here on this one, 1st and 10 for the Broncos.
Alves in shotgun, rolls left, wants to pitch, and does. Up to the 45, and a first down by his running back on the far sideline. And getting up off the pile, that's going to be that's Robinson on the carry. A nice carry there on first down will bring up another first down.
Yeah, I'm just going to, just to let the listeners know, what kind of happens is up here in the booth, you've got these running backs who all have the same frame, and they're all in the 20s. One's 22, one's 26, one's 25. It makes it really
and one's
tough
21.
To see. Yeah, it makes it really tough to see it sometimes, especially because they're all quick and fast.
And they all come out of the slot. Here's another one coming out of the slot. That's Robinson, and he's going to get the fake. Alves is going to keep it up the middle with some room. Up to the 35 and finally brought down. A nice saving tackle by Marquise Millard-Sims. Saves the touchdown, rather, as Alves was shot out of a cannon. They'll mark him down at the 32-yard line. Another first down for McKinney Boyd.
Man, he's got some talent.
Back-to-back 14-yard runs by the Boyd Broncos. You talk about Alves maybe not getting to 200. Right now, 9 carries, 95 yards.
He's on pace.
A 10-4A score. Here's West Mesquite 6 and Poteet nothing. Athens in the first. Here's Alves on the pitch to Robinson again up to the 30 and inside the 30 to the 24-yard line. Actually, about the 27-yard line is where they'll mark him. It'll be second down and about 6. 6:08 left to go here in the second quarter, and it's McKinney Boyd leading McKinney North 14-7.
Well, now it looks like we're really starting to see both offenses getting into some sort of a groove. You know, we saw them both struggle, especially in the first part of the first quarter, but now we've had some back-to-back drives where both offenses are looking good.
This is going to be A.J. Jones coming near side, runs into his own man. That forces him to cut it up inside, and it's good news for McKinney Boyd because he springs out of a tackle and goes down to the 15 yards, another first down for McKinney Boyd.
What's going on with this run defense? All of a sudden they're having a tough time stopping anybody. You know, this is the point where if you're a linebacker, Colton Floyd or Rodney Nelson, you need to step it up, grab these guys and tackle them and not get blocked, throw off your blocks because, boy, this running game for the Broncos looking all-star caliber here.
Alves in the gun, sends a man in motion, and that's Pittman. He's going to fake the hand to Pittman. Alves goes left. Look out, to the 10, cuts it up inside. It's touchdown time in Texas. Darren Alves and McKinney Boyd put it in again, and that makes it 20-7 with 5:30 left to go in the second quarter, and Boyd is for real.
And they're also just plain out-muscling this dog-pound defense. I mean, Alves, he's quick, he's fast, but when he doesn't get touched by anybody, you know, it sure makes it easy to score a touchdown because they're just getting blocked.
Whistles before this extra point kick, and we'll see what this one is. The kick, I believe, was good, but
yeah, it's a moot point, dead ball, foul, false start for the offense.
So that'll move it back. I'm sure we'll just kick it again. How long was the touchdown by Darren Alves?
A 15-yard touchdown run by Alves. That drive, by the way, if we want to give our drive summary, we might as well. 5 plays, a minute 37 ticked off the clock, and, of course, 60 yards marched by the Broncos, capped off by that 15-yard Darren Alves touchdown run, his first of the night. And this time the extra point is good. So 21-7 now our score, Monty.
5:30 left to go in the second quarter. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. 21-7, McKinney Boyd in the lead now after that touchdown. And here's the high pooch kick going to be taken by Millard Sims up the near hash. He's gone 50, 45, 40, up the left sideline and knocked out of bounds. I said he was gone prematurely. Parker Bolinas knocks him out of bounds at the 30, at the 20, actually about the 29-yard line. I thought Sims had more speed than that.
Well, and that play really should have been made by Dante Williams. What that is, it's a high pooch kick towards Dante Williams. He's the streaker out here on the far side, and he let Sims field that and just kind of – he didn't charge down there as aggressively as he could because here in the kicking game, you don't have to give, like you do on the punch, you don't have to give him a yard buffer. If you want to just tackle him outright, you can do that. Well, and he was just basically tiptoeing up there, got blocked, and once he was blocked, there was a huge seam there.
36-yard return there on that short kickoff and sets up North in great position.
David Douglas in at quarterback, runs the option, cuts it up the middle to the 25. Shakes a tackle down to about the 22-yard line. It'll be a gain of about 8 yards on first down as we near the 5-minute mark here in the second quarter with Boyd leading McKinney North 21-7. Score to pass along in District 9 4A is the Colony leading Lake Dallas 6-0 in the second.
That'll last 2 minutes.
I think you had similar comments last week.
Well, that's why I'm hoping it's the same thing.
Second down and about 3 with 4:51 left to go in the second. There's a handoff up the middle to Chris Williams, and Williams is going to gain a couple of yards. Enough for the first down to about the 17-yard line.
Yeah, and you know what? Football really is a game of momentum, and right now no side is really grabbing a hold of it fully. You know, you have the Broncos going up 21-7, and all of a sudden you get a big return from North. They get it in good field position, get a first down. Now they're inside the 20, and they've got a little bit more momentum on their side.
Douglas still in at quarterback with Williams standing to his right. We're going to run the option. This time Douglas is going to keep it, dances and spins out of a tackle and finally brought down at about the 11-yard line. Now they say the ball's on the turf, a late scramble, but I believe the ball was down, or Douglas was down rather. And that will be the case.
You know, you talked earlier and said look for the Bulldog offense to do something a little bit different. Of course, that was Douglas at quarterback. I like what Coach Pratt's doing. You've got a playmaker who is kind of out. Get him in the game.
One thing we haven't mentioned is the freshman who got called up is split out wide left, Jonathan Lee.
A 6'3" freshman.
And with lots of lots of potential. Here's a bad snap, and Douglas is able to pick it up and make something out of it to the 5. And he is into the end zone. There's a fumble in the end zone. Will they say he was down? No signal yet. The ball's still going out of the end zone, and there's a touchdown. What? Another crazy play in that end zone, and we're going to have to start calling Ron Post Stadium Voodoo Palace.
John, we're going to need you, buddy. Stand by, because there was a missed snap, a fumble right at the 1-yard line. Somehow Boyd has a chance, misses it. The Bulldogs fall on a touchdown. And no, so
another crazy turn of events in that end zone. The south end zone is cursed tonight.
Is it Halloween yet?
Something going on down there. The officials are still talking it over.
Well, it's not the officials. It's Coach Drake on the other side wanting an explanation.
Because if he fumbled at the 1 and then went into the end zone.
Well, I thought for a moment that Douglas was actually down at the 1 when the ball came out into the end zone.
Well, then conversely, just how wacky that play was, I thought the ball went out of the back of the end zone, which would be a touchback going to Boyd.
That play was crazy from the get-go as Douglas had it on the ground from the snap.
Yeah, what a wacky play.
Here's Meyer on for the extra point, and it's good. And all of a sudden, it's 21-14. North has shrunken the lead with 3:33 left to go in the second. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Ron Post Stadium, where McKinney North has just scored. We don't know who, but someone has just scored. It's 21-14. Boyd still in the lead, McKinney Boyd. And Stephen Meyer about to boot this one away. And he sends a high, deep kick. Going to go back to about the 7-yard line. A.J. Jones takes it up the middle. And he has a seam. 35, and has his legs taken out from him by the kicker at the 35-yard line. Meyer takes his legs out. Or that could have been gone back to the house. Jay, how about an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap?
4 plays, 29 yards, a quick march for the North Bulldogs, running a minute 57 off the clock. And my guess is good as anyone who came up with that touchdown in the back of the end zone. We know it wasn't David Douglas. He fumbled right at the 1, but nonetheless it was Douglas's run that set up that touchdown.
Right after this play, we'll go down to Jonathan Leidy and see if he saw what happened down in that crazy south end zone. First down and 10 for Boyd as Alves is in the gun, and he rolls out left, pitches it. And A.J. Jones takes the pitch, and he's in trouble behind the line of scrimmage. And that'll be a loss of maybe 1 on first down. Here's Jonathan Leidy. Jonathan, what do you got down on the sidelines for us? Go ahead.
Guys, I'm going to give you all the short of this. It went from David Douglas's hands on the 1 to Chris Allen's hands about 2 yards deep in the end zone, through another McKinney North defender, and ended up in the offensive lineman of Trent Bloedel in his hands. He recovered it for the touchdown. It was fumbled a total of 4 times. Back up y'all.
An offensive lineman getting a touchdown. How fitting.
Trent Bloedel with the touchdown. How many times have we said that ever? Never. Here's Alves in the gun, rolling left, throwing a deep ball down the field. A.J. Jones, he overshoots him by a step. Actually, it was a pretty good throw, but A.J. got turned around, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, I was just about to say, don't discredit Alves on that one. As a receiver, you should never have your back to your own end zone. Never at any point should you be backpedaling, and that's exactly what happened. Now, that's not to say that he didn't get turned around, because it happens, but, Alves, that's a really good pass, and Jones, it may have been on the wrong side. That I can't tell you, but it really was distance-wise right where it should have been.
This will be 3rd down and 10, moving left to right. McKinney Boyd, Alves setting up the screen up the middle to Robinson, who makes a nifty move and a first down across midfield inside North territory to the 48-yard line. 2:38 left to go before half. And our halftime sponsorship this week is the Collin County Baskin-Robbins ice cream stores, and we will have one of those football ice cream cakes up here.
Well, it just keeps getting better and better for us up here in the booth.
It does, and we also have Applebee's food, I believe, up here, so we want to say thanks to Applebee's as well. So 1st down and 10 for McKinney Boyd as we start to get hungry as we near half. A.J. Jones comes in motion with 2:21 left to go before half, and he's going to get the hand. Nope, Alves keeps it out left side. Now bounces back inside and trapped at the line of scrimmage. A nice play up front by those McKinney North Bulldogs. And Zach Gagnon and Chris Harlan make the stop.
Well, and I told you earlier about how the linebacking core, particularly Nelson and Floyd, had to get a little bit better out there. Floyd didn't get credit for the tackle, but he basically pushed Alves back in. And if you can keep contained, you don't necessarily have to make the tackle to do your job.
What a dogfight here at Ron Post Stadium.
Yeah, it is.
Alves back to pass, throws across the middle, in and out of the hands of Cameron Mazer. Mazer on the season, 13 catches for 136 yards and 2 touchdowns. That one goes right through his hands, a little high. Mazer was our Torchmark Corporation star of the game a couple of weeks ago.
Monty, I'm drawing a blank here. Who was the tight end for North a couple years ago, last year?
Jeff Olson.
I was thinking Greg Olson. I knew that was right. Mazer kind of reminds me of him. A big guy, usually has fairly solid hands when you get it to him. That one was a little high for him, but he still could have caught it, but he looks a lot like Olson.
Olson much, much bigger, I believe.
Yeah,
Here's Alves throwing it left. The fade route in double coverage is Pittman, and nice coverage there by McKinney North. The ball will fall incomplete. It'll be 4th and 10 with 1:37 left to go in the half. Boyd of McKinney leading North of McKinney 21-14.
Yeah, coming down on that play, junior Ty Gaddy, the receiver, holding out his hands going, where was the flag? Well, both teams are really going for, both sides are going for the ball, so there really wouldn't have been a play because of incidental contact.
Pittman in motion will stand right by Alves, and Alves is going to quick kick this one away. This one a lot better than the one that went off the side of his foot. This one will actually bounce at about the 17, take a big hop towards the end zone, and now will rest at about the 1-yard line. McKinney North will start from their own 1.
We are seeing some phenomenal play from these two punting teams.
The punting has been excellent on both sides.
Aside from that one that went straight up in the air,
Other than that
which is eventually recovered on a fumble anyway, so it didn't matter. You know, both sides, Douglas and Alves in this case, are doing really good jobs of pinning the other inside the red zone, and a couple of times been inside the 5.
And you got to look out here. McKinney North loves to play here at home. They've won 16 out of 17 here at Ron Post Stadium, going back to November 5th, 2004. McKinney Boyd also has won 3 straight here at Ron Post Stadium.
You know, Monty, I like the fact, if you're the North fan here, that they got to stop on defense. They haven't done that in the last 3 tries, and it's nearing the end of the half. You have a chance here. There's a minute and a half left to do something. It's going to be tough with 99 yards to go, but they're in a good position.
Full house backfield for McKinney North. Colton Floyd actually in there. And they're going to hand off to Pitts, who is in trouble for a minute, then spins out of a tackle and gives McKinney North some breathing room by spinning out of that tackle. And he'll make his way up to about the 7-yard line. So a nice 6-yard gain on first down for McKinney North. And now McKinney North fans can kind of relax a little bit.
Well,
at least it's not the south end zone.
Well, that's true. I'm kind of curious what Coach Pratt's doing on offense. He's really pulling out a lot of cards here. We've seen Douglas at quarterback. We've seen a freshman in there. Now Colt Floyd
at fullback.
Yeah.
And Williams in the shotgun is going to hand off once again to Pitts, running up left tackle. And not much doing there. It'll bring up 3rd and short. And now we're under a minute. And Coach Pratt may be trying to let this one go to half. But I believe Boyd just called a timeout.
I wonder why they weren't doing that sooner.
Timeout on the field. We'll take a quick one, too. 30 seconds. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. 47 seconds on the clock before half. McKinney North trailing McKinney Boyd 21-14. Here's David Douglas in the slot on 3rd down. And we're going to roll out right side, flag down. I believe the whistles will blow. This one is going to be against McKinney North before it could get underway. Jay, what was the 3rd down conversion rate for McKinney North?
McKinney North so far tonight 0 for 3 on 3rd downs. Going back to last week, including last week's game, 3 of 13 in their last 3rd down situations. They've really struggled, and a lot of those haven't been longer than 5 yards. Tonight, only 2 of the 3 longer than 5 yards.
Hey, Monty, they haven't put the time back on the clock. Still reading 43.
Yeah, right now.
Because it was a dead ball foul, so that means the play never got underway. Curious.
Well, the ball will be spotted back to the 3-yard line. McKinney North will have it at their own 3, deep in their own territory, and now officials will probably talk about that clock situation as the line judge comes over. Again, officials for tonight, the referee, Bill Meigel, the umpire, Jerry Raymond, the head linesman, Lowell Kratz, the line judge, David Stephen, and the back judge, Scott Miller. And they're looking up and trying to reset the clock. We haven't seen anything yet.
There it goes.
There it goes. Now we're at 47.
Well, it makes you wonder how many times that's happened, because a dead ball foul, the clock should always be reset. You know, the Ron Post Stadium's got some of the best scoreboard operators and announcers there are.
Here's Douglas in shotgun, 4 yards deep in the end zone. He's going to run left, out of the end zone, to the 5, and takes a defender to the 10-yard line, close to a first down. We're under 40 seconds now, and that's very close. It'll be probably short of the first down, but I think they're going to go ahead and measure. They'll bring the chains out as the ball rests at the 10-yard line. This is going to be pretty close. We'll try to get John Leidy.
Boyd took a timeout on that one, so I don't even – they've already put fourth down up there.
Yeah, they have. This one's not even going to be close. John was right there, but –
sorry, John. Didn't mean to scoop you, buddy.
Well, it'll be fourth and very, very short, but no way you can go for it here in this position.
No, because if you miss it, that's basically giving them points in one form or fashion or another.
Hey, our Collin County Baskin-Robbins ice cream girl just showed up with our cake. How about that? I know that's not what everybody wants to hear, but I tell you what, you can't go to any of the Collin County Baskin-Robbins right now with their 31 flavors.
You know what? That's one of my favorite ice cream places. I'll just throw that on the record now.
I think what we have, oh, my goodness. Look at that.
That looks awesome. And it's a specially made cake that's got KLAK call letters on top in the shape of a football.
It's a football ice cream cake. It looks exactly like a football, maybe even the same size as a football, and has the stitches and everything on it, and it says KLAK.
And I know you like to throw the football, but if you throw that one, we're going to have some problems.
Ooh. Yeah, that'd be messy up here. 36 seconds. It's fourth down, and David Douglas is going to punt it away from his own 1-yard line. A low line drive kick, not a great kick. It's going to bounce at the 35-yard line and leave enough time and enough room for Darren Alves.
Yeah, they're saying that touched the Boyd player.
And Stephen Meyer, I believe, picked it up. Or was it Sam Kamani? Sam Kamani picked it up.
Officials look dumbfounded.
North says that McKinney Boyd touched the ball, and North picked it up after the Boyd player touched the ball.
Boyd's saying no as they're listening in to the officials on the far side there, so it looks like they're going to hang on. This game keeps getting wackier and wackier, just plays that you don't expect.
This is very reminiscent of a game that you'd see over in Wichita Falls at the Voodoo Palace. Crazy things like this happen over there. Not so much here. I'm in this little, I don't know, I'm in a time warp or something, or in a little black hole or something to take us over to Wichita Falls right now.
Over there it happens on a regular basis.
It happens
though.
every Friday night
yeah.
in the Voodoo Palace. Not so much here.
I believe, though, North was arguing that it hit the back of one of the gunners, maybe a Zach Adamczyk.
Well, and look where
his name, but
Coach Pratt's out beyond the numbers wanting an explanation.
Well, there's 28 seconds on the clock, and Boyd has the ball, moving left to right from the McKinney North 42-yard line. 28 seconds, leading 21-14. Darren Alves looks back at the play clock, which has not started yet, and now it has. Alves, shotgun, drops back 2 steps, looking down the field. Still looking, plenty of pressure. No pressure at all. Throws it down the field, and it's caught and dropped by Cameron Mazer at the 22-yard line. Alves had all the time in the world to throw that football.
I'm going to say that's a good thing, though, because you rush the kid, he's going to gain 20 yards. You know, so
only 8 seconds ran off the clock, but it seemed like a minute and a half.
Well, and I don't know if Alves wasn't looking at him, but Robinson was out in the middle of the field. He had a beat on his defender, but I don't think Alves was looking at him.
Second down and 10 for McKinney Boyd. Again, left to right, shotgun formation. Alves drops back 3 steps, throws it across the middle, and it's caught by Jeff Fuller at the 32-yard line. 14 seconds, 13 seconds, 12 seconds.
And that's the main thing. He didn't get a first down.
And a timeout has been called by McKinney Boyd. And we'll keep it right here. It'll be, I believe, third down and about 2 for McKinney Boyd here. In just enough time, 12 seconds. And they did call their final timeout, so they're going to have to probably try to go one play in the end zone.
Yeah, you would think, well, 12,
maybe 2.
12, that's kind of a gray area. If I would say 14, you've got 2 plays, especially if you can get the first down and rush up there. 12, you know, that's a little bit of a different story. You should, because you're in a short field. If you go for the end zone, it's all a moot point anyway.
Well, and on the other hand, they're probably going to stay away. They've got, with 12 seconds, theoretically they do have the time to run 2 plays. They'll stay away from the middle of the field, though.
Oh,
you'll see something. You'll see something with Fuller down the sideline to maybe throw it up to the big man.
Well, if you get a first down, you can go to the middle of the field, though, because it stops the clock. You can race up there. You can get set right away. Not even a spike, you know, because it just seems like Alves is such a let's do it and go kind of guy. He doesn't need that.
Here we go. Third down and 2. McKinney Boyd from the McKinney North 33-yard line. Bad snap, and McKinney North recovers, but whistles blew before that one can get underway in another Voodoo Palace moment.
I think we're having a dead ball foul false start, and boy, you normally say penalties are dumb. I don't know if the penalty had anything to do with that fumble, but all of a sudden that looks good.
There were 12 seconds on the clock before that play got underway. Right now the clock says 8.
It'll be reset to 12 after what happened last time because that was a dead ball foul, but haven't caught it.
Not yet. Still says 8. And now the official, the line judge, Don Drake knows what's going on.
He's the one who had to say it.
Don Drake tells the line judge over there, and the line judge immediately calls up to the booth and says, set it to 12 seconds.
Because, hey, let me tell you, that 4 seconds means a heck of a lot.
Yeah, ask the Cowboys against Buffalo. 21-14, Boyd leading. And threatening here. Alves, two-step drop, throwing it down the field. A home run ball. Wide open is A.J. Jones. Caught it. It's touchdown time in Texas.
No, they're going to say he stepped out at the 2-yard line, but still 6 seconds remaining. And hey, he got out of bounds as well. So even though the first down does stop the clock, you have no chance of them whistling the play clock to a start. So they've got all the time in the world.
I apologize. It wasn't A.J. Jones. It was Joseph Robinson. He was all alone.
I thought that North gave Boyd too much time on the clock, and give a lot of credit to Boyd for managing those timeouts really well.
Full house backfield. Alves rolls right, tries to get in the end zone. It's touchdown time in Texas. Darren Alves rolls it in, and there's 2 seconds left before half. Wow.
That's a really big deal because you're going to score and not give North a chance to answer that. And you know what? They've been answering for the most part.
Yarborough on for the PAT. The hold. It's down. The kick is up, and the kick is good. My goodness. 28-14, Boyd in the lead. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. 2 seconds left before half, and here's the onside kick by Boyd, and it's going to be taken by McKinney North at their own 46-yard line, 47-yard line. Coming up with a football for McKinney North was Ryan Wiley.
And it's important to note that the ball, or rather the clock doesn't start until the ball is touched, and he basically downed it.
Well, and that brings me to this point. There's 2 seconds on the clock. Do you try and throw it, or do you just kneel it down?
Oh, yeah. You throw it. I mean, you've got a top-notch receiver in David Douglas. You air it out down the sideline. See if you can take some momentum back.
I say put Stanko in, let him air it out. He's got a decent arm.
Stanko put his helmet on for a second, but now he comes off the field. And David Douglas will go in at quarterback.
Maybe he goes to the freshman.
And he looks at the freshman as he comes on the field. 54 yards away from pay dirt with 2 seconds left. Shotgun formation right to left is McKinney North, and now another whistle. That'll be a delay of game against McKinney North here. They couldn't get out on time. Even after all of that, they couldn't get what they wanted into the huddle and onto the field.
One play and you know what you're going to do. You should at least have some idea what you're going to do coming out of the kickoff. Now, field position may change the thing.
Now, take a look at the prevent defense here by McKinney Boyd, who stands 4 men across the 30-yard line.
Is that Al's?
Playing safety. Shotgun for David Douglas, who's going to hand off to Damon Pitts, who has a big seam to the 50, up to the 45, and down right there. And that will be the end of the first half. And now, welcome to the Collin County Baskin-Robbins Ice Cream Halftime Show as Boyd leads 28-14 at Ron Post Stadium. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to the Baskin-Robbins of Collin County Halftime Show. We also want to say thanks to Applebee's, who brought us some great food as well. We really got stuffed during the halftime show. I'm surprised we even made it through it and are able to be prepared for the second half here.
Yeah, I'm pretty content right now. Got a good game on the field, and they got a full stomach. Tasty food went down. Nice.
Well, someone said early on in the first half that Darren Alves was not on pace to gain 200 yards and probably would not have 200 yards, but Jay told us at halftime a little bit differently.
Well, 13 carries for 115 yards here at the half, 2 touchdowns. He's been solid through the air as well, 7 of 13 for 100 yards passing. I mean, that's basically 26 plays for 215 yards. He's done it all tonight.
That'll last 2 minutes.
Well, and it's interesting, though, that you say that you talk about minutes. Boyd, and think about the way that they've scored here tonight. They had the fumble recovery in the end zone that resulted in a touchdown, and then they had 2 drives combined, took up 1 minute and 6 seconds. One of those drives, a 40-second drive, they ate up 98 yards of field, and, of course, Al's with the big run on that one, the big 76-yarder that set up the 15-yard A.J. Jones touchdown run. Boyd has been able to dictate tonight the way things are going out on the field, and right now I think it goes back to last week. We saw Boyd take on a Lake Dallas team everybody thought was better than them, and on the end scoreboard they were better, but nonetheless Boyd stayed with that team. As for North, they took on a team that everybody thought was lesser. The lesser team won last week. I think North is still in a hangover.
Well, let's compare these two programs for a moment. McKinney Boyd, after its first 16 games, are 4-12. They've scored 262 and given up 592. McKinney North, in their first 16 games, well, they were pretty similar, 6-10. They scored a lot more. Same offensive mind in Don Drake, 454 points, and McKinney North gave up 510. And that's when you start a new program, that's the key. You've got to start, and there's somebody with the, we talked about this earlier, when you run through a run-through, someone always has it stick to their face, and someone did there.
And you didn't expect it to be a David Douglas, but the whole thing just wrapped around him. I mean, you didn't break any of it, just came apart at the polls.
But going back to the new program situation, it's always the offense seems like gets going first. It's the defense that has to end up stepping it up in the program. So far, McKinney Boyd has done that early in their program. Only the second year, they've improved tremendously this year. And, look at the scoreboard tonight. You got a high-powered offense at McKinney North who's averaging 32 points a game, and they have 14 points here at half.
Well, and we talk a lot about what Darren Alves has done to make this offense really respectable, but, you bring up a good point. He doesn't play defense. And it's really funny, kind of an exile off the offense. Philip Sears goes down to the other side, plays defense, and plays fantastic.
And you may be wondering, why I said, they average 32 points, and they have 14, which is pretty much on pace for what they normally get. However, McKinney North has been a first-half team all year this year and all year last year. They put points on the board in the first and second quarter, and mainly the second quarter is when they really get after it offensively. They have not tonight.
Well, and you have to think that North now in a situation they may have to pass the ball a little bit more. Boyd coming in, they're the 4th overall defense in District 9-4A. They lead all defenses in interceptions. They've got 10 picks coming into the night. Now, no interceptions so far this evening for the Broncos, but they do have the 2 crucial fumble recoveries.
Here is McKinney Boyd going to be kicking off here to McKinney North. North will be defending the north end zone here. And it'll be Damon Pitts along with David Douglas back deep to return. It's going to be Pitts. Takes it at the 10-yard line. Cups up the left hash. Big hole up the left hash. Spins out of a tackle and down at the 36-yard line. And here we go. Strap them on tight. And it looks like we're going to get started off the second half with a flag.
Yeah, one of the North one of the Boyd kickoff coverage guys was offsides, and I don't know that you accept the penalty here. You've got a great starting field position with the ball at the 35-yard line. You're not going to really do much better than that, barring obviously a better return, but generally that doesn't happen too often.
They'll spot the ball at the 41-yard line. McKinney North starting out, moving right to left, and Chris Williams at quarterback. David Douglas comes near side at the wide receiver position. Damon Pitts in the backfield. Ty Crump in the slot. Chris Allen split out wide right. Handoff. Damon Pitts up the middle. A nice seam over right guard up to the 48-yard line, shy of midfield, and it'll be second down and about 3. Just underway here in the second half. 11:42 left to go in the third quarter. Boyd on top of McKinney North, 28-14.
Well, I just have to go back to the end of the first half. How big was that last touchdown?
Huge.
You think about it, North is going to put more points on the board. That's just their MO 9 times out of 10. And Boy, that 7 points makes a big difference.
Williams in the gun sends Pitts in motion behind him, and Williams is going to keep it over left end, and he's going to gain about 7 yards, enough for the first down and more to about the 44-yard line in Boyd territory.
First down, Bulldogs. Bronco 44.
Yeah, so they get a first down on the second play.
That was a nice 8-yard pickup by Williams. That's what he does best.
When you bring it up, Jay, you talk about how bad they are at third down. Just stay out of it. You know,
really.
You know, go to if you have to, do it on second and fourth.
First down and 10 for North. Williams drops back, 3 steps in trouble. Now makes a couple of people miss. Can't finally make the last defender miss on the play, and a nice play that is by Keith Owens, who also recovered the ball for a touchdown earlier, and he makes a big stop there on Chris Williams of a loss of about 2. It'll bring up second down and 12 from the McKinney Boyd 46-yard line.
You know, it's kind of unfortunate. We say his name because he recovered a fumble, but he plays really solid, you know, game in, game out. But because he plays solid, doing the position he does, we don't call his name a whole heck of a lot. But he might make player of the game.
Williams in the gun on the reverse. Ty Crump coming near side. Gets a good block and a great shirt tackle by, once again, no, that's going to be the linebacker this time. Zach Adamczyk makes the stop. Or, you know, I tell you what, that was going to be Crump, a nice gainer there, and maybe even the first down.
He should have used his blockers, though, because he had 2 receivers on the other side of a couple of Boyd defenders. If he'd have gone around them, you know, Zach may have had a harder time making the tackle if he would at all.
Third down and 10 for McKinney North. Moving right to left. Chris Williams, the quarterback. Pitts stands to his right in shotgun formation. Now Pitts moves to his left. Williams wants to throw to Douglas. Throws it up. Douglas comes down and gets it, but a great hit by Philip Sears knocks the ball out. Douglas actually went up and caught it, but Sears popped him at the 30-yard line, and the ball fell on the turf.
Well, and it couldn't come as a perfect illustration of what I was talking about, what Philip Sears has done. You know, we talk about Alves, and it's well-deserved talk, but it's plays like that on defense. Owens, Sears. I mean, this is something North couldn't do for about 4 years, play solid defense. And you know, I've said this a lot of times. The key to winning is a solid defense, and Boyd, for somehow, in their second year, has it.
Fourth down and 10 and punt time for David Douglas, who thinks about throwing it for a second and then punts it away. It's a high punt. It's actually going to bounce to the 18 and take a north hop to about the 14-yard line and nearly hit Jamel Minor, the Boyd player.
You know, if I'm North, I'm going to start thinking about something, because you notice, you saw that Douglas hesitated a little bit. You know what Boyd was doing? They were headed the other way. That's a real easy return if hey, where are you going? Because, you know, when you're headed the other way, you're able to get to the line of scrimmage real easily and get a lot more. Aside from that, I wouldn't be surprised if we see that. You know, this coaching staff for the Bulldogs is really smart.
Mike Scott, covering Jeff Fuller all night one-on-one, has done a pretty good job, apparently. Here's Alves in shotgun, rolling left, cuts it outside to the 10, trying to find that far corner, and maybe gains a yard as he hits the out-of-bounds marker. With 9:10 left to go in the third quarter, Boyd on top, 28-14.
Yeah, good solid job defensively. They strung Alves out. And, you know, sometimes that's what you have to do with the good runners. Not just make a tackle, but use the field to your advantage. If you can't get forward, eventually you're going to run out of room.
Second down and 10 after the no gain there, they'll call it. Alves steps up, now throws over the middle, and it's caught by Mazer at the 25. And fumble! There's a fumble on the turf at the 30-yard line. And it is McKinney North who comes up with it at the Boyd 30. A huge turnover right there. Mazer had it. He was trying to fight for more yardage. The ball popped out, and North fell right on it.
You know, and that's what we talk about. You know, there's still some things that a young team does, and it's make mistakes like that, because they've got a lot of hustle and they got a lot of drive, and while most of the time that's good, occasionally that hustle and drive will lead to a mistake. Instead of, hey, just go down. You've got the first, you've got the yards. Don't risk something when you're not going to get much in return if you do risk it.
Williams in the gun with Pitts standing to his right. Hand off Pitts up the middle. Oh, he's busted at the line of scrimmage. A huge hit Jamel Minor getting up. I believe it might have been Minor who made that big stop. Tough to tell. And it could have very well been Reese Redmond. But it was a stick.
And you know, you talk. I mentioned Phillip Sears and Owens. To also a degree, you know, Jamel Minor's been. All of these McKinney schools have great linebackers.
2nd down and 9 for McKinney North, moving right to left. And Williams is going to run it out of the gun to the left side, and he's tackled at the 25-yard line, a gain of about 2 or 3. Bring up 3rd and 6 for McKinney North with 8:14 left to go in the 3rd.
Yeah, and something you can't do when you're running is stutter step in a hole, because that hole's not going to last very long, and you got to lower your shoulder, get an extra yard or two, because when you're stutter stepping, you have no momentum, and that's exactly what happened there. And generally when you stutter step in a hole, you're not going to get much beyond that.
David Douglas split out wide left. Chris Allen split out wide right. Pitts in the backfield along with Williams. Handoff Pitts. Out Williams kept it around the left side, trying and churning for more yardage. Might have gained a yard. It'll be 4th down and about 5 for the first. And this is a pretty good, you know, this will be a pretty good indication of where this game's going to go on this 4th down call. Whether Sean Pratt's going to elect to, I think you have to go for it in this range. It's really out of Meyer's range. I mean, he could, you know, I don't know Meyer whether he could boot a 40 or not, but that's what it would probably be. They're going to call a timeout.
41.
And we'll take 1, too. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. 4th down, or actually first for Chris. It was a 4th down, and Chris Williams rolls to the right, picks up the 1st down. A nice scramble there by Chris Williams, and a big play by McKinney North in this football game by gathering that 1st down and having a chance to cut this lead, which they desperately need to do.
Well, as a simple keeper off to the right side, and it looked like Boyd had him near the line of scrimmage, but he squirted through and didn't fight until he got the 1st.
Williams is going to give the hand to Pitts up the middle to the 5, down to the 2-yard line. A nice big hole right through the middle for McKinney North. It was Trent Bladel, Taylor Douthit, and Colton Duncan open up that big hole right up the middle, and Pitts just squirted through.
David Douglas? You know, I know Chris Williams doesn't have an Eric Herbal type arm, but you know, this is, hey, just throw it up, because there's not going to be a safety behind who's going to be able to come and knock it out.
Parker Bolinas is covering David Douglas near side. Williams in the gun. 2nd down and 2. And this is going to be Williams up the middle, fighting for more yardage, and he's into the end zone. It's touchdown time in Texas, and it's 28-20, McKinney Boyd, and here comes North.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, say what you will, Boyd definitely looks like a young up-and-comer, but, you know, this North team's got a lot of fight left in them. They've been in this rodeo before. They know how to ride, and, you know, they know how to come back from behind. They're a really solid bunch. You've got some really good leaders like a David Douglas and Chris Williams stepping to the plate. And the defense, you know, say what you will about what they did in the first half, it's still generally a solid bunch, and they have the ability to string together some good, solid defensive plays.
It's 28-21 after that PAT. 6:13 left to go in the 3rd. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Ron Poe Stadium, where McKinney North has just got in the end zone and cut the deficit 28-21 to their crosstown, well, not their crosstown, but their around the town rivals.
I don't know if that one sounds as good.
I don't know. They need to come up with something here. There's Stephen Meyer on for this deep kickoff. He's going to boot this one pretty deep down to about the 6-yard line, where A.J. Jones takes it up the left hash. And coming up the left hash to the 25, jumps over a man at the 35 and out of bounds at the 40-yard line. And Jay Lindley, how about an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap?
6 plays, 2 minutes, 49 seconds off the clock, and 29 yards, capped off by a 2-yard Chris Williams touchdown run. And the Bulldogs right back in at 28-21, although they did fail to get another 3rd down conversion, 0 for 5 on 3rd downs here tonight.
Well, give it to Cameron Mazer, who coughed it up. Really set up the touchdown.
Yeah, and it's like we mentioned on those 3rd down, Jays, just do it on 2nd or 4th.
Well, the 2 times they went for it on 4th down, they've gotten it, and they've scored touchdowns on those drives, so go figure.
1st and 10 for McKinney Boyd here as they move left to right from their own 41-yard line. Shotgun for Alves, man in motion. and Alves wants to run. He jukes and jives and goes down after about a 5-yard loss in the backfield. Had nowhere to go.
Yeah, Desmond Elrick came up with the sack on that one. Let me tell you, you really should get credit for 2 sacks if you can get Darren Alves back there.
That may be true. It'll be 2nd down and 15 after the 5-yard loss. 5:44 left to go in the third. 28-21, Boyd in the lead over North. And North really has, hey, we pretty much talked about North losing all momentum right before half, but they've come out.
Well, they're an experienced bunch.
They've come out dripping with blood here in the third quarter. Here's Alves coming up the middle and knocked down immediately right where he went down a moment ago, so it'll be 3rd down and 15.
Well, and the funny thing is he was running the option, and the option was going to go to Zach Jones if the defender wasn't there. Both of them ended up getting a hit anyway, and Jones ended up on his backside as well as Alves.
3rd down and 15, and look out for Darren Alves and his legs right here. Obviously a passing play for most schools, but not for McKinney Boyd. Alves drops back 3 steps. He will throw across the middle, and it's caught by Jeff Fuller, who has the first down. Or does he? They'll mark him just outside of the midfield stripe. He needed to get to exactly the 49-yard line in North territory for the first down, and I believe they'll spot him right at the 49-yard line, so it looks like it will be a first down. They'll bring the chains out. This is where we go down to John Leidy and see what he has. John, have you got to look at this one for us?
Guys, this is going to be very close, but they did spot it right on the 49-yard line, and that's exactly where he needed to get to. So I'm afraid this is going to be a first down. Being a little biased there for McKinney North, but it is a first down for McKinney Boyd.
At least he said it.
Well, we know John. We know John's a little biased. He went to McKinney North. He's an old Bulldog.
And I'll give him props for admitting it.
They were 7-13 when he was there. We'll leave it at that.
Boy,
they're so much better since he's not there.
What a big pass play for Darren Alves. We were up here talking about him doing it with his feet. He found Fuller right over the net.
How do you let Fuller get away, though? I mean, it's not like he's an Alves-sized kid,
Let's see John shaking his head down there. Here's first down. Alves shot out of a cannon to the 45, to the 40, to the 35, down at the 30-yard line. When Darren Alves gets a full head of steam, there's no bringing him down. And he was absolutely shot out of that cannon. And they'll move the sticks to the 29-yard line. What a run.
20-yard pickup there for Alves, his second 20-plus yard run tonight. Of course, he had the big 76-yarder back in the first half.
Well, just think this drive started with a sack and a no-gainer.
First down, and North had all the momentum. Here's a handoff to A.J. Jones up the middle to the 20, cuts it left side to the 10, to the 5. It is touchdown time in Texas. A.J. Jones. 29 yards later, and McKinney Boyd goes up 34-21.
Boy, we've talked about Alves and Fuller, but Jones having a terrific night. That is second rushing touchdown of the evening. 6 carries for 54 yards.
Yarborough on for the extra point. Nearly blocked by Chris Williams, but it's true. 35-21 with 4:11 left to go in the third. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. After the kickoff, McKinney North moving right to left here. 1st and 10 from their own 38-yard line. Williams wants to throw it deep. A man all alone, and he overshoots his man over on the far sideline, and that was
Chris Davis.
It was Davis, I believe, out there. It was Davis split out wide. I thought for a moment it was David Douglas splitting out to the right side for some reason, but it was not.
Yeah, Lamar Peoples bid on something. I don't know. There wasn't a pump fake, and I don't think the play action pass was that great to be faked on. But boy, Davis all alone.
We'll give you an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap right after this play here on 2nd down and 10. It's Damon Pitts getting the handoff, and he'll clear 3 yards, moving past the 40 to the 41-yard line. Jay, how about that American Bacon Texas scoring drive recap?
5 plays, 59 yards marched by the Broncos. 2 minutes and 2 seconds ran off the clock, and a big 29-yard touchdown run by running back A.J. Jones. Jones' second rushing touchdown of the evening.
I want to mention our wardrobe sponsor for the evening and for the year is Germain Designs out of Denison. They provide our uniforms up here on our broadcast team all year, and they are great. Here's Chris Williams rolling left, flushed out of the pocket, running out of room, throws it up and throws it out of bounds. It'll be incomplete as actually Mike Scott makes the reception out of bounds.
The third down troubles continue. Now 0 for 6 in this contest, 3 of 16 dating back to last week. They're just not getting it done on third down.
Fourth down and punt time again for McKinney North with 3:21 left to go here in the third. Down to McKinney Boyd. They're around the town rivals, 35-21.
Now I want you to watch, Monty. On this play, you're going to see, unless the Boyd changes their rush package, they're going to retreat. I think it's a great time to do a fake.
Well, here's Douglas, and he's not going to fake. He's going to kick a high wobbly kick that'll bounce at the 30-yard line, take a north hop inside the 20. A nice kick here. It's finally going to roll dead at about the 17-yard line. So Boyd will be placed deep in their own territory here.
48-yard punt. Nice job right
and
there.
About 15 of it was the roll.
Yeah, say what you will about what's been going on. You can't fault the punting game. They've done a really good job of pinning the Broncos really deep in their own territory.
We've got a score from Sherman. It's 32-13, Wichita Falls over Sherman, and that one's in the third. We'll have some more scores to pass along throughout the night. 3:08 left to go in the third, 35-21 right here. McKinney Boyd on top of North. Handoff to Pittman up the middle, and he'll turn left for a little bit and finally go down after about 2 inches gained there.
I was going to say, I didn't think he got out of the gate that far, Monty.
Well, when you're shotgun, it kind of fools you a little bit. You get 3 yards to go to the line of scrimmage. So I'll give you the benefit of the doubt that Jay won't.
Second down and 10 from their own 17. 2:40 left to go in the third. On the reverse, coming near side, and that could be a face mask. It was Joseph Robinson coming on the reverse, who will gain 3 or 4 yards. I could have sworn I saw a possible face mask.
Well, it depends on where you grab it. If it's on the face mask, it's a face mask. But if you grab any part of the helmet, that's a face mask. However, it's possible he could have grabbed around the jersey and the arm, hit it, because that's not a face mask. And that was right in front of the head linesman. So, the ref's been fairly solid tonight.
Alves sends a man in motion, and he's going to roll left, throw left, and he's got Fuller, who makes the catch at the 30-yard line. Another first down for Jeff Fuller on the night.
Fuller has been quite solid so far this evening. Right now, 5 catches for 45 yards. That's his second consecutive reception in a third down situation. They've had 2 third down conversions tonight here in the second half and 2 for 2.
Remember the height advantage over there. Mike Scott going man-to-man on Jeff Fuller. Fuller 6'5", Mike Scott 5'10". Quite a mismatch, at least height-wise. And here's Alves in shotgun. He's going to send Pittman in motion, who'll stand right behind him, and now whistles will blow. And before this one can get underway, so it'll be against McKinney Boyd, so it'll be 1st and 15 starting here with 1:31 left to go in the third, and McKinney Boyd leading 35-21.
Right now, if you're a North fan, just take solace in the fact that this is for the most part a very experienced defense, and their head's generally going to be in the game till the very end. Now that said, the way Boyd's been just doing almost what they want on the ground, it's going to take some sort of play to for North going the other way.
Alves in the gun. He wants to run. Wiggles a little bit, comes near side, shakes away from one defender, can't shake away from all of them. And right there is, I believe Terrence Hicks, one of them. Jace Boyd there. There's a man down for McKinney North. And I haven't yet been able to determine who that is. It may be Chris Williams. The near side, he was playing cornerback. Now Williams is a safety, but he was playing the outside receiver on the near side. And Williams, I believe it's Williams who has
I believe it is as
yet
well,
to get up. So this sends the offense into an interesting mode if Williams cannot come back tonight. While we do that, let's give you some scores from around the area. Highland Park is leading Richardson Pierce 21-13 in the third. Colony and Lake Dallas. Colony up 12-0. And that one's at the half. Little Elm over McKinney 14-7. Go McKinney, go. And that one is in the third. So McKinney trailing only by a touchdown to Little Elm there.
What was the score?
14-7.
All right.
And Frisco leading Centennial 28-0 at the half. And West Mesquite over Mesquite Poteet 20-10 in the third. Terrell leading Rockwall Heath 13-10, and that's at the end of the half. And still attending to Chris Williams here. Let's take a timeout because I know every time I take a timeout, they pop right up. So we hope Chris Williams pops right up as soon as we go to commercial break. 35-21, Boyd leading North. Back in a moment, and here comes Chris Williams. He pops right back up, so we won't go to break. That's what happens. Every time you do that, they pop right up. So we're going to do that every time.
Well, it looks like the way he's walking, it's the wind got knocked out of him. And let me tell you, when it happens, there's really not a lot of worse feelings out there, but it's also one that's fairly quickly alleviated.
There's exactly a minute left in the third.
For others, aches are a constant. Don't let foot and ankle pain keep you
And
down.
McKinney Boyd leading here 35-21. And Boyd will start. They won't start. They'll get back on the field after that long delay. Second down and 13. Now clock rolling under 50 seconds. Pittman goes in motion, stands behind Alves. And Alves wants to run it on second and 13. Comes up the left side, spinning out of a tackle. Takes on one defender. First down, Darren Alves. What a run. And still being wrestled down to the turf. And the linesman will give him the 43-yard line. He only needed the 40 for the first down. And I tell you what, when it's third or second and anything, just give it to Darren Alves.
Does he know how small he is?
He may not.
I mean, did you see him literally just throwing his shoulder and knocking people away?
Well, and you were talking about the linebacking core for North having to do a better job. Right there, he blew right by Colton Floyd, just blew by him and ran up the field. I mean, that was the initial point of contact, and he got by him.
Alves in shotgun on 1st and 10. And hands off to Robinson. He's got a big hole up to the 50-yard line. And a nice tackle by Marquise Millard-Sims to save the touchdown, possibly because there was a lot of green turf ahead. But still a 9-yard gain on first down. And that is the end of the third quarter. McKinney Boyd on top, 35-21. Back in a moment at Ron Post Stadium on KLAK 97.5. And there's a run right up the middle. And it'll be third down and 1 now with 11:42 and rolling here in the fourth. It is fourth quarter time in Texas, and McKinney Boyd leaves their, I guess we'll just keep calling them their around-the-town rival. And it'll be third and close here. They're leading 35-21 over North.
Boyd 2 for 2 here in the second half on third down conversions.
And here's Darren Alves in shotgun formation with 3 receivers to the right, 1 man in motion. That's Pittman. He comes across, and they'll fake it to him on the reverse, and Alves follows him, and he'll have the first down across to the 45, fighting his way down to the 40-yard line, and this young man doesn't know how to quit.
Yeah, and, I was just thinking of something on it. Remember, let's flash back to the Springtown game where he put the ball on the ground a couple of times. He has not done that in a while, and I think that shows the sign that he's maturing fast and taking a leadership role on this team and on the offense.
20 carries for 156 yards here tonight.
You know, you like the qualities of Darren Alves. You know, he doesn't seem to be a very good loser. You know, George Steinbrenner once said, "You show me a good loser and I'll show you a loser." It seems that Darren Alves may have some of that. Here's A.J. Jones on the slide out to the right side, and he'll get trapped behind the line of scrimmage at a flag down. And Brandon, you say there's a face mask.
Yeah, that reached across, and right as he did that, a flag came out. And, the officials, when they see a face mask, they're quick to rip out the flag, and they'll throw it right away. And, that just add it to the list. The way it's being played right now, the Bulldogs are starting to open themselves out. At the same time, Boyd's been able to do what they want, and they've made a couple mistakes, but they get out of it.
It's funny. We're watching basically the same offense. Don Drake created the offense that North runs. Now they've kind of varied out of it over the years and kind of grown and matured and developed their own mold out of it. And he's done the same thing with the offense here. But basically, if you look at the formation, same set, same offense. and A.J. Jones will go in motion, and they'll fake to him. Alves throws down the field, and he's wanted to hit his man, but it's incomplete, trying to hit his far receiver over there. I believe that might have been Gibson. Actually, it's Pittman.
Yeah, just threw it to the wrong shoulder. Pittman looking over his left, Alves threw it over the right. And let me tell you, as a former receiver, going from one shoulder to the other on the fly pattern is not the easiest thing to do.
That was the first incompletion for Alves in 5 passing attempts. He's 10 of 17 tonight for 141 yards passing as well. So he's been on fire in all facets of the game.
He's getting better at everything.
A tremendous. Well, he's a sophomore. He's going to imagine what he's going to be in 2 years from now.
My gosh.
Can he come out early? Can he go? Can he go to OU? Shotgun for Alves. 2nd down and 5, and he's going to hand off to A.J. Jones, and a nice play up the middle by Rodney Nelson, the linebacker, streaking. And he makes the stop in the backfield. It'll be 3rd and 9 with 10:13 left to go in the game. McKinney Boyd on top, 35-21. And McKinney North desperately needs a stand right here.
I'm curious on something. It's 3rd and 9. Wasn't the first down pass play incomplete? The 2nd down was caught in the backfield, right? Did I miss a penalty? Oh, the face mask. That's right. Never mind. Scratch it all.
Diddle-a-doo.
5 of 9 on 3rd downs tonight. 3 for 3 here in the second half are the Broncos.
Timeout on the field. We'll take 1, 2. 35-21. Boyd in the lead. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. 3rd down and 10. There's a flag down before we get underway here. It will be false start against McKinney Boyd. So this helps North's cause in trying to get the stop here on 3rd down.
Well, it's like I mentioned earlier. North does something in terms of a penalty, doesn't help them out at all. Boyd does something and they seem to get out of it. So we'll see what happens here. Now they put him in a 3rd and extra long.
Last week's Scholar Athlete by Tutoring Club, Terrence Hicks, needs to make a stop right here. And Alves dodges the bullet, gets out of the way of one man, makes the throw, having to come up for it is Pittman, and he can't come back and play in center field. Kyle Dancy and him fight for it, but the ball falls incomplete about the 20-yard line.
Yeah, and Kyle Dancy might have got away with a little something right there. Pittman got up. He was upset there wasn't a yellow hanky on that one.
Alves had Chris Harlan right in his face, barely dodged him, but give Harlan the credit there. He made Alves throw the ball when he really didn't want to, and really it was a bad pass.
Yeah, much better job getting rush in, and it's funny, I didn't see who blocked. Maybe it was Harlan, but one of the defenders blocked a lineman into Alves as he was throwing, which caused the short pass.
And Alves is going to roll out. This is not going to be the punt. Alves trying to make it to the 45, cuts it up to the 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, down at the 12-yard line. A 1st down and more for Darren Alves.
How do you let this kid get away? I mean, you got to keep your eye on him at all times. And they were in position to make. So maybe I shouldn't say it like that. They were in position to make a play around the 40-yard line. Alves made 3 to 4 guys miss.
Well, and you'd seen him quick kick all night long. Maybe they were expecting just go ahead, he'll pooch it, and boy, he caught him flat-footed.
North got lulled to sleep on that play.
Well, it's like we say, why do they quick kick when the punting may be better? Well, that's why right there. They turned a 4th and long into a 1st down. But I tell you, Coach Drake's willing to take some risks.
Alves in motion, or we'll send A.J. Jones in motion. He'll get the carry over left guard and spins his way down to the 7-yard line. And it'll be 2nd and goal from the 7.
What a wacky.
And watch out. Yeah, watch out for this south end zone down here we're approaching. As North is Boyd is 7 yards away from pay dirt here, or call it 8. I guess the scoreboard says 8. There's 8:41 and rolling here in this football game. Boyd already on top, 35-21, 8 yards away from one more. Alves is going to run. Looks left side, and Marquise Millord Sims makes the stop inside the 5-yard line to about the 3. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 3.
Yeah, you're starting to see a little bit of frustration in some of these hits. Millord Sims grabbed Alves around the ankles and legs, basically holding him. He's falling down. Colt Floyd comes by. And I don't know if there's a little extra ump to put him down or what, but there was a solid hit out on the quarterback.
Full house backfield. Alves in shotgun. 2 men with him, and Alves is going to run. Now goes left. Now his knee was down at the 1-yard line, so it'll be 4th down and goal from the 1. maybe inside the 1. And no, they say touchdown. The line judge comes up and says touchdown. Now, I know his knee was down, but apparently the ball crossed before his knee went down.
Yeah, and that's what you got to judge. And, we've seen it before. This kid's crafty where you look like he's down, and what he is he's on his toes and hand. And he's able to keep it up, and all of a sudden, he's out running for more yardage, or in this case, it's just enough to get him into the end zone.
Here's the extra point by Yarborough. They hurry up like there's going to be a replay or something. But Yarborough boots this one through. 42-21, Boyd in the lead, and this one may be all over. 7:52 left to go in the fourth. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK.
Oh, wow.
Here's a pooch kick that may have gone Boyd's way. It went high, but I believe North was able to get up on it, as North will take over now from their own 40-yard line, moving left to right, down 42-21 to their new rival, McKinney Boyd. And, Jay, you have an American Bank of Texas scoring drive long recap for us.
By far the longest drive of the night for the Broncos, the longest drive for either team. 15 plays, 7 minutes and 16 seconds off the clock, 83 yards, capped off by a 3-yard Darren Alves touchdown run, his third touchdown of the night.
Now, when you say longest drive, wasn't there a 95-yarder in there?
Well, I mean play-wise.
Play-wise, gotcha.
Yeah, there was a 98, but there was only 3
okay.
plays for that one.
First down First down and 10 for McKinney North. Williams throws right, looking for Allen. Actually, no, that's Chris Davis, who might have pushed off, but the official says nothing. The ball falls incomplete, and it was Chris Allen on the near side, and you can hear the boos from across the field.
Yeah, sure can, and Monty, one of the things that I've always said is let them play in that situation. There's contact, and what naturally happens when you touch when you make contact is you put your hands out. And, the contact may have knocked him over. I mean, I can't say, but he may have pushed off, but there was contact before there was the push. So let him play. I like that call.
Second down and 10 with 7:45 left to go. Williams for North is going to throw to David Douglas, who comes back near side, needs a block, and gets tripped up behind the line of scrimmage. A great play by Parker Bolinas, who was one-on-one with him in coverage, just followed him behind the backfield and just tripped him up.
Monty, let me ask you a question here. I've been thinking about this for a few drives now. You look back at the old McKinney North offenses, they can run and they can pass. Well, this one's a little short on the passing. Do you think a great runner like Chase Barrett would able to make this offense better?
Look out to the near side. There's 4 receivers near side all bunched up together. Williams throws it to Douglas, who wants to throw it down the field. He throws it back to Williams, who undershoots him and is going to be ruled incomplete.
It's imploding. It really is.
Douglas just one-hopped Williams. He was trying to hit Williams back across the field on the double throw, and he one-hopped him.
You know what I think they were trying to do, Monty, and I don't think they could have since that was a forward pass, but it looked like they were throwing back to Douglas, back to Williams, and there was a receiver streaking on the left side that they were going to throw to.
Scores from up the road in District 5-4. Wichita Falls 39, Sherman 13. And we also have Denison 43, Denton 7. Here's the punt by David Douglas. Is going to be taken by Phillip Sears at the 30-yard line. He calls for the fair catch and makes it. And now Boyd is 70 yards away from another score. And right now it's 42-21.
Here's some strange stats to throw at you guys real quick. David Douglas tonight, 2 receptions, 31 yards. That's it. Douglas has basically been held shut in the passing game. And as far as Boyd goes, man, Darren Alves, he's 3 yards away from breaking that 200-yard mark.
Well, here's another stat I'll give you right after this first down play for Boyd. As new quarterback in the backfield, and a new running back is A.J. Actually, that's Robinson, and he's gone. 40, 35-30, 25-20, being chased down, 10-5, pushed out of bounds at about the 4-yard line. Joseph Robinson, a huge run right up the middle. He was shot right out of a cannon again. I'll say it again. This kid was, he was just pushed through that line.
Well, and you got to give a lot of credit to Kyle Dancy. He didn't give up on the play, and he could easily have done so. He was the cornerback out on the far side, had to go from roughly the 40, 45-yard line all the way across, ran 50 yards across the field, made the tackle, and prevented the touchdown for now.
This is going to be a handoff to, I believe, Zach Jones, who will gain a couple of yards. up to about the 2-yard line.
Kind of an odd turn of events here. Travis Yarbrough running the offense. A senior is actually a backup to a sophomore. You don't see that a heck of a lot.
Yarbrough had some action last year at quarterback, along with Philip Sears. They basically split time. And Yarbrough into the game here. A.J. Jones with him in the backfield. Handoff Jones up the middle, pushing and fighting. And once again, it's touchdown time in Texas. And it is 48-21. Grab your socks and pull. Look out, District 9 4A for McKinney Boyd.
Well, and you got to figure that North really blew a big chance last week, because whichever you think they are or what they aren't, they're better than Centennial. 3-1 sure looks a heck of a lot better than 2-2 as the extra points up and good.
49-21 with 6:13 left to go. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. There's North's kickoff, or Boyd's kickoff rather, is going to be taken by North. Up the left hash for a couple of yards. 49-21, Boyd in the lead over North with 6:08 left to go. Jay, how about an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap?
3 plays, 45 seconds, 70 yards covered by the Broncos. Of course, a big 67-yard run by Joseph Robinson set up a 2-yard touchdown scamper by A.J. Jones, his third rushing touchdown of the night. Big night for the senior.
And it is 49-21, and Boyd has led all night long. They have never trailed in this game. We've got to give you the Tutoring Club Scholar Athlete of the Week, and we'll give you that right after this first down play. It's 1st and 10 for North, moving left to right with 6:08 left to go. Shotgun, and that is David Douglas into the game at quarterback. Looks right. That's Stanko, rather. He throws, and Matthews makes the catch. You can tell that it's Stanko by the way he throws. Kind of Sammy balls it out there, just slinging it out there, and that'll be a gain of about 3 or 4. It'll be 2nd down. The Tutoring Club has been our sponsor all year of our Scholar Athlete, and this week McKinney Boyd's Maggie Montague is the Scholar Athlete of the Week, sponsored by Tutoring Club. Off the volleyball court, Maggie has a 4.0 GPA and is currently ranked 3rd in her senior class.
Wow.
She's also president of the Environment Activist Club and a member of the National Honor Society. Last week, before Boyd's forthcoming football game, Maggie was crowned Princess of Academics. Here's Stanko dropping back, rolls left, under pressure, throws over the middle, and a great catch over the middle by the receiver and into the game. It's hard to tell. Oh, that's the freshman. Jonathan Lee makes his first catch on varsity of his career. Now, this is a highly touted freshman just called up. He wears the number 88 for McKinney North, and he makes his first grab there, and what a catch it was across the middle.
Yeah, and you wonder, say what you will, but, Vince Stanko at least led a 4-0 squad, and, they need to be able to pass, and he's, whatever it is, their best passer.
1st down and 10. He almost drops the shotgun pass, throws a duck out to the near side, but it's caught by David Douglas to the 10, to the 5. It's touchdown time in Texas, and David Douglas has now caught a touchdown in 15 of his last 18 games.
Not a great pass there, but, I'll take my chances with David Douglas. If he can get it in his range, he's a really solid to really great receiver who can make an adjustment, and that's exactly what he did on that play. Hey, 2 plays get you a touchdown. I got to think, though, with the way Boyd's running on offense, that you're going to have to do a lot more than score on offense. You're going to have to make some stops on defense, and I mean stops, because you're going to have to do, let's see, trying to do some quick math here.
Stephen Meyer on for the extra point, and it is good.
Yeah, so you got 3 scores to stop him in 5 minutes.
49-28, Boyd in the lead over North with 4:52 left to go. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. There's an onside kick going to be recovered by McKinney Boyd. So North trying to get the ball right back pretty quick with 4:51 left to go in the game. And
I believe it was Fuller they had on the front lines that came up with that.
But yeah, it's Boyd who, however, who comes up with it. So they'll have it 1st and 10. And moving right to left is Darren Alves and company. Zach Jones now in motion. That's not Darren Alves. That's once again Travis Yarbrough coming in. And this will be a busted play behind the line of scrimmage, a loss of a couple here. Boyd just intent on running this one out. They've got their backup quarterback and a couple of backups in. Jeff Fuller not in the game now as Grant Gibson will come to the near side in Fuller's place. Lots of new faces for McKinney Boyd into the game right now.
You know, and they're a young team, so it really does pay to give as many kids as experience as you can.
2nd down and 11 after the 1 yard loss. They call it 1 yard on the scoreboard. It's more like 2. Man goes in motion. That's Robinson, who had the big run a moment ago, and now it's getting kind of sloppy. Flags will fly before this one can get underway.
Delay of game.
4:08 left to go in the game. 49-28. McKinney Boyd in the lead. David Douglas, with that touchdown catch, as we mentioned, has now caught at least 1 touchdown in 15 of his last 18 games, which is absolutely incredible. Shotgun, and Yarborough hands off up the middle, and this time Robinson has his feet caught out from under him, and a nice job by Zach Gagnon to stop that one from going 67 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 15 now for McKinney Boyd.
You know, the quarterback option that Boyd runs just doesn't work quite as well when you don't have Darren Alves in there, because, you know, when you run the quarterback option, obviously it's predicated on having a good running quarterback, and, you know, no offense against number 7 Yarborough, but he's really no Al. So
here's a man in motion. Bad snap, and Yarborough has to go back and get it. And he and the referee, everybody goes down. Colton Floyd, and along with the back judge, Scott Miller.
Actually, that was the ref himself.
It was the ref.
Mr. Whitehat.
That was Bill Meigel, who ends up on his back.
I'm sorry, I don't know why that's funny, because it really isn't just because seeing the referee take a fall, but it always, when the white hat goes off, I just have to chuckle.
Timeout, North, and we'll take 1 too. 49-28, back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Yarborough back to punt this one away, and it is blocked. And coming up with it, I believe, was John Whitfield.
I think it was Colton Floyd that got in there and got a hand on the football, on the block, actually. Floyd doing a great job coming off of that far left edge. Got pressure, and, hey, 3 scores, 3 minutes.
Well, Stanko is into the game at quarterback, and it'll be 1st and 10 from the Boyd 29-yard line. 29 yards to go to pay dirt for McKinney North. Shotgun, Pitts in the backfield, and Stanko wants to throw. Drops back 2 steps, throws it down the field, over the middle, into coverage, and in and out of about 3 guys' hands. It was intended for David Douglas, and it falls incomplete.
And Douglas did get one of those hands on there, so it was close.
But there were 3 white jerseys in the vicinity as well. I mean, it almost appeared as though Jacob Sigler, he was in the vicinity, as was Sears. Those two couldn't decide who wanted the football more.
Well, what would you do? you got David Douglas, obviously a star receiver. I'll put a couple white shirts over there to help out too.
Watch out for the freshman Jonathan Lee, split out wide left. 2nd down and 10. Stanko brings his troops to the line. He steps back in shotgun, Pitts to his left, and he gets it. Drops back 3 steps, steps up in the pocket, has to get the ball away, can't do it. He's sacked at the 35-yard line. Not what McKinney North wanted in that situation. You've got to get rid of the football, at least throw it away. And Stanko keeps it and goes down with the sack. Tried to step up in the pocket, couldn't do it. Now under 3 minutes at 2:40 and rolling.
Justin Cordova and Keith Owens getting in there on that play. Nice play by the D-line.
Owens having a great night on that defensive line for McKinney Boyd, probably our torch-marked player of the game. Stanko wanting to throw it deep for Douglas, and it's intercepted at the 8-yard line. Coming up with it, Jacob Sigler, his 2nd interception of the year for McKinney Boyd. Stanko just threw it out into double coverage, and Sigler hauled it in. The easy turnover, and McKinney Boyd can pretty much lock this one away if they hadn't already. 49-28, and they come back out here with the ball inside their own. Actually, wait a minute, whoa. They're going to say that. What? Oh, I see. I thought they were giving North the ball for some reason down there, but Boyd is on the field offensively inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. Everybody in tight, or more tight than usual. They'll send a man in motion. That's A.J. Jones. Yarborough, the quarterback. He'll stand behind him, and A.J. gets the carry up the middle. hit from behind, a gain of about 1. It'll be 2nd down and 9 as we near the 2-minute mark in the game.
See, Monty, right now what we've seen out of this Bronco offense really illustrates just what Alves means to that team, because for the most part, the rest of the cast is the same. You've got A.J. Jones, you got Zach Robinson, you got these guys in here. Cameron Mazur's out there as well, other than Jeff Fuller. But the main difference is Alves, and all of a sudden they can't run as well.
Well,
I know what you're saying.
Here's A.J. Jones on the end-around reverse, and he runs well to the 15, up to the 20, and a first down to the 22-yard line. And A.J. Jones just on the end-around reverse from the slot to the right side.
Jones, I think, took that one a little bit personal.
I doubt he even heard there, Jay.
11 carries, 69 yards, and 3 touchdowns for A.J. Jones.
A.J. Jones has the K-Lake, has his earphones in his helmet over there, listening to what Brandon's saying. So, hey.
Well, I can guarantee you, if that were happening, Coach Drake would have a field day with that. I just have a feeling that's what would happen.
He's got his iPod in his pants over there listening to KLAK. First down and 10. The man goes in motion. And Yarborough gives the hand. Not much doing. Now he pops out. I think that's Pittman. He pops out to the left side. And he's going to gain about a yard up to about the 23-yard line. As we near 1 minute left in the game, and it's been all McKinney Boyd. North has never led in this football game. Boyd has owned it from the first quarter on.
Well, and what a magnificent job they've really done here in the second half. You know,
last year, North won this game 63-7. Not tonight.
I think little brother had something to say about that one tonight.
Little brother's grown up in a hurry, 49-28, as Yarborough will take a knee. Our Torchmark Corporation star of the game tonight will be number 94, Keith Owens of McKinney Boyd, the defensive lineman, and John Leidy will try to corral Keith Owens, number 94 for Boyd, and get a word with him.
Oh, they soaked Drake. They on the far sideline, the Gatorade bath, head coach Don Drake.
And I'm sure Coach Drake all smiles with the effort tonight, as he was not happy with the effort of his kids last week at Lake Dallas. He's got to be happy this week.
Yeah, this was just a magnificent game defensively, offensively. Yeah, they gave up 28 points, but, you know, North is going to score their points. Just look what they did on offense. Wow.
Listen to that crowd on the far sideline going crazy. They have a lot of fan support for a new school at McKinney Boyd. Lots of people over there. And I guess they pull the, some people would say upset. Don't tell Don Drake it's an upset. He expects to win every game.
Yeah, but they ran the table. They took out McKinney High and McKinney North this season.
You beat me to the punch, Jay. I was about to say, you're looking at the best team in McKinney.
Unbelievable after only
after 1 year.
17 games.
Yeah.
17 games. McKinney Boyd, the best team in McKinney.
Think they're going to trademark that? What they're going to do is they're going to put, you know, the little, what is it, the motto for the year, and they're going to put the best team in McKinney and put Monty Walker with the little attribution at the bottom of it.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we'll get John Leidy trying to corral Mr. Keith Owens, number 94 of McKinney Boyd, the defensive lineman who had a great night. He actually got credit for a touchdown. And he had a sack and everything else. Keith Owens, a magnificent game, and is our Torchmark player of the game for the night. We'll have the money play of the game coming up as well. And that's sponsored by Anchor Credit Loan, and I believe that will probably be the 76-yard run by Darren Alves, which set up the second score.
Yeah, why don't we make it a couple of those touchdowns where we didn't know what happened?
Yeah, it was actually the Voodoo Palace here at Ron Stadium tonight. A strange south end zone we had tonight.
I will say this, the second half a little bit more normal, I guess is the best word, but, man, you got to say what you will. You're looking at a playoff team here in Boyd. I don't want to go ahead and jinx it now, but, God, they were good tonight.
We're going to go ahead and pod the microphone up for John Leidy, so whenever he's ready, he can go ahead and just pop on with us. As I believe he's going to try to talk to Don Drake down there and Keith Owens. And he's chasing Don Drake right now, but I think Coach Drake wants to talk to his team first. As he says, give me just a minute, John Leidy.
You know what John reminds me of? You know that movie with Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones, The Marshal? No, the Fugitive. That's what it was called.
The Fugitive?
Yeah, where Tommy Lee's the marshal and he keeps following and follow. That's what John is. Keeps following Coach Drake.
Well, I don't know that I've ever heard the comparison of John Lighty to Tommy Lee Jones quite.
Well, definitely not in sex appeal. I don't know. Is Tommy Lee Jones sexy? I don't know.
I'm just going to leave that one right there. 49-28. Boyd wins tonight over McKinney North. We're waiting for the post-game interviews here with John Lighty. He'll have Don Drake and hopefully our Torchmark Corporation star of the game, which was number 94, Keith Owens. And you can hear the Boyd players down there after they get the talk from Don Drake. They're very excited. I mean, look, think about it. This is their second year as a program. They beat McKinney, and they beat McKinney North.
Well, and they've got an inside track to the playoffs in the district of 3-1.
And some of these kids were even at McKinney North at one point.
Yeah. Well, and like Jones, who was at McKinney.
Here's
Okay,
John
Coach,
Lighty.
First off, you got to be impressed with the effort by your team tonight.
Yeah, I definitely was. I thought we played a lot better than we played last week, and I knew it was going to take that kind of effort to play with them. I mean, they're a good football team, okay, and they know how to win. And we needed to come out tonight, and we needed to play well on both sides of the football, and I thought we did that for the most part.
The few critics that you do have left, you have to say that you silenced them tonight. There's no critics that can be left out there. Y'all have proved week after week what you've been saying all year long. You're a good team, you got good players, and you're making a playoff run here, Coach.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of football left, okay? I mean, we've got 3 more games, and it's going to take the same kind of effort for us over the next 3 games if we hope to have any chance of getting in. I mean, Frisco, Little Elm, and the Colony are all capable football teams, and so we've got to go back to work Monday. Tonight, great, okay? We got to go back to work Monday, get ready for next week.
And one question, a little on the comic side. Were you a wide receiver, had some wheels in high school when you played?
Just a little bit.
Okay, because you had some wheels running away from that water there. You have a great week, Coach. See you next week.
All right, John Lighty. And the Tonight Show with Jonathan Lighty. Oh,
no, but Coach put it.
I think John's trying to corral Keith Owens down there, our Torchmark Corporation star of the game. Whenever you're ready.
I'm down here with the Torchmark Player of the Week, Yes, guys, I'm trying to talk down here. I'm down here with the Torchmark Corporation Player of the Week, number 94, Keith Owens. You had the key momentum change there in the first half. You had that touchdown, and you were making penetration all night long. Can you give us a little play on that changing play?
Man, I just saw that ball on the ground. I just dove at it. And I scored, too. So, rush.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the last one.
It was a big adrenaline rush.
Now, I do have to add, you are a sophomore. You're going to be here for another 2 years, so we got to look forward to seeing more from you, right?
Oh, definitely.
Thank you. You have a great week.
You too.
All right, John, that's our Torchmark.
Okay, I'm also down here. I was originally trying to get A.J. Jones, but A.J. Jones said, no, I don't want to talk. I want my offensive line to be on the radio. He wanted to give all the credit to all the offensive line up here. So A.J. Jones says thank you to y'all guys.
Well, man, I don't know. We need to thank him. He ran all that way.
But y'all were opening all the holes all night long, putting up good effort. There was wide gaps all night long.
Just doing our job. That's all.
Doing what we do every day. That's just how we do it. I love Darren.
That's how Boyd is. Thank you, guys. Y'all have a great week.
Boys on 3. 1, 2, 3. Big boys.
Boy, that's not typical lineman for you. We just open the hole, do what we do, and it's, they don't want the spotlight. That's why they're linemen. They just want to go and bang some heads.
You know what that is right there? That is Jonathan Lighty, the former lineman.
Yep.
Giving some kudos to his old buddies. Those guys run together. I don't care whether he's North and those guys are Boyd. At heart,
linemen
they're all
are linemen. Yeah.
They want to give their other linemen due.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. I want to go to something Coach Drake said. John said, hey, you've silenced your critics. And he goes, hey, we've got some good, capable teams left. I don't want to drink the Kool-Aid yet, and I definitely agree with Coach Drake that you could go out and lose 2 of your next 3, and just as easily you could win 2 of your next 3. But you got to think tonight, going 3-1, you've got an inside shot at the playoffs. I mean, you're obviously the best team in McKinney. You've played some really good schools along the way. Lake Dallas being premier. Yeah, you didn't win that one. Maybe you could have. Maybe you should have. But, they beat a good team today, and they've got a couple good left, and they're on pace to make that run at the playoffs in their second year.
The playoff race, it's a 3-horse race. Obviously, Lake Dallas, Little Elm, they're the tops of District 9 4A. Then you've got Boyd and you've got Frisco. And North was right there, but this loss tonight's going to really hurt North in the long haul.
Well, they're dropping to 2-2. Frisco's on their way to 3-1. Wait and see what Lake Dallas does, but they're already going to have 3 wins. So, if the season ended today, which, it doesn't, and obviously, they have a couple of other teams left to go, like the Colony, for example. But, they're out of the playoffs. And again, middle of the district schedule, you're going to have a bunch of teams grouped up in the middle like that. But, again, you like your chances with Boyd. McKinney North still has a great chance of coming through. And even McKinney, to some extent, has an outside chance. Sure, they've got 3 losses. If they can pull together a win today and run off a string of them, hey, they're right there too. So, I've seen some crazy things in high school football. I've seen teams go 0-3 and end up making the playoffs.
Well, and the one thing, though, right now, North, and we'll get to this a little bit more here as the postgame show continues, but look at the numbers. The last 2 weeks, there's some question marks coming up on offense. And some big ones tonight on North. They just have not been able to run the ball efficiently the last 2 weeks.
However, I think the difference with McKinney North, obviously, is their defense. The first 5 games of the season, they gave up a total of 67 points. In the last 2 games, they've given up 91 points. And that tells you right there, you cannot give up back-to-back 42 and 49-point games.
Well, to expand upon that, one was done through the air, the other was done through the ground. So, I was thinking, hey, they're going to have a much better chance this week because they're predominantly good to great run stoppers. But that just wasn't the case today.
And you're talking about 2 great quarterbacks that do completely different things. Ryan Mosikowski last week and Darren Alves this week, both of them torch McKinney North.
9-day difference between the two, and yet, you'd think one would play into their hands. And you got a great point there, Monty. The defense got to get better.
Well, and the running game through the first 5 games of the season was averaging 222 yards a game. After these last 2 games, you take Centennial combined with this Boyd contest, averaging only 160 yards a game the last 2 on the ground.
I also think the talent level from the first 5 weeks compared to the last 2-3 weeks
definitely
has vastly improved since the you don't want to talk too bad about R.L. Turner and those Forney and those guys, but hey, this is a pretty tough district.
Well, how does a winless team figure? That's a good point. I don't understand that because they're losing again today on a bad score. They're not. They're better than Centennial. That's a game you're going to look back on.
McKinney North makes Brandon speechless.
Well, no, how do you lose? That's a week later, and I'm still flabbergasted on that one. But.
Well, Jay is sharpening his pencil and getting ready for the stats, and I'll be cutting some highlights while he's giving you the stats here in a moment. 49-28, McKinney Boyd beats North. They're around the town rival. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK.